What up, what up, what up, everybody? Happy Friday. Oh my gosh, we are finally here. Baby, we are here, we are here, we are here. I'm sorry. I was a few minutes late, child. 1 minute you got time, and the next minute you look up and it's like, oh shoot, I'm late. Hi to the people. Let me say hi to the people, and then we are getting ready to jump into it. And I'm gonna start off. And if I have time, or if it's not too late, because I got some stuff to go through. So buckle up, Buttercup. We got some stuff we're gonna go through, okay? And let me be clear: I am not here to change anyone's mind. I am here to give you further clarity on why I feel the way that I feel as it relates to Monique and the saga that is Monique. Okay, if you feel the way you feel, baby, please know I'm not here to change your mind. And I respect your opinion as long as you are respectful. But I do want to give further clarity onto why I feel the way that I feel. So let me give a shout out to my people. Hey, Corey, Rock Chick, Amber, Citizen Jane, Monique, Kenya, Tanya, Natty, Marnie, Des Hop. Thank you, Boo. Netwit, you fed the kids early. Well, all right. Nitwit, I said Netwit. Nitwit. Hey, Ruru. Marnie, little baby. Hey, Montrez. Hey, Boo. Lyrics, mom. Nails done, hair done. Everything did. Hey, I be trying, y'all. Hey, Sweet Pea. Tracy, what's up, Tracy? Where's my other Tracy? Are both my Tracys here? Hey, kiss my cheeks. What's up? Shout out to my members that are lit up in green. You guys know you head on over to the VIP section. Head on over to the VIP section. Hold on. All right. If I didn't speak to you, charge it to my head, not my heart. Hey, Kim, Paul, you know how you guys doing? So, obviously, this week has been a buzz, just like with the Cat Williams. I knew Monique's interview was going to be a whole lot. And a lot of it had to do with this story. You know, again, people have chosen sides, and that's okay. But I'm going to start this off by reading a comment. It was a long comment, but it was a very succinct comment that I think summed up a lot of how I feel about the Monique situation. And it was written by my girl, Citizen Jane. If you guys have been here, you know that she is a regular here, a member. And when I drop the link, she's a regular contributor to the panel. But she left a comment under my Monique video, and I even pinned it because I was like, thank you, because this is you just summed it up. So I'm gonna read. It's a little lengthy. Like I said, buckle up, Buttercup. We're gonna be here a while, but that's where we're gonna start. So the comment reads as follows: You don't get paid to attend the Cannes Film Festival. Oh shit! This whole time I had that comment open, and then okay, you don't get paid to attend the Cannes Film Festival or Sundance for the same reason you don't get paid for the Super Bowl. It's an opportunity for the actors to take the informal meetings that allow you to get roles without auditioning while you are hot. And of course, it helps the film. One wouldn't have to blackball you for not attending. All they would have to do is tell the truth. When asked, where is Mo? If you say, well, she couldn't agree on a fee to attend, so she decided to stay home because she was tired from her show and from promoting, and she has two small children. Eyebrows get raised, and you get stamped as difficult because in their film goes to I'm sorry, because if their film goes to Cannes, they are going to have the same problem. Who else is available? As for Oprah taking roles, my guess is she was willing to work for the pay and points. Mo has said multiple times, I want money, not favors or gambling on future percentages, but cut the check. A lot of actors take roles for back end, which means they get an executive producer credit and don't get paid till the film makes money. It wouldn't surprise me if the conversation was, I need more money, where can we cut? Well, I offered it to Mo. She ain't going to negotiate on salary. And Oprah said, I'll do it, throw in some of my own money and hope to recoup it on the back end. So did Oprah take her roles? Yeah. But she never fully explains why. Mo compares herself to Melissa McCarthy, who also works with her husband, but is a writer and a producer. They did a whole improv Second City circuit and have a production company. Many of the earlier films they put skin in the game by producing and selling themselves. something Mo won't do, just like she won't hire writers. And she never discusses numbers like we sold out X number of shows, the box office did this. The only thing she talks about is her check. I'm going to be honest, folks ain't got to say don't hire her, or if she's difficult, all they have to do is tell the stories she freely tells herself. Who gonna hire an actress who steps in front of the producer when he's talking to his director, whom is also hired and says you shouldn't handle him like this? Okay, I don't know if she was right in her assessment, but if folks repeat that story, you're going to be seen as difficult. Now, if Tyler says, how much do you want? And I have no doubt he got some mess with him, you give him a number. Now she says she's worth $3 million a year for the 12 years she was blackballed. No shade, but she don't want to deal with lawyers because they probably already asked if she could substantiate her number. And I doubt that she can, because the people's opinion and rah, rah, rah don't matter if it doesn't translate into money. She isn't and hasn't been a draw for numerous reasons. Her Netflix special flopped, and whatever she got for it was to placate her, not because she's selling out arenas. I wonder why she hasn't pitched Netflix a movie or a show. There, her Oscar is more relevant, and she has had a sitcom. There is her proven track record where her resume shines brightest. Her stand-up, however, is dated or consistent of tirades similar to her Shay Shay interview. Ain't nobody coming to see that Otis. And everybody ain't saying they don't want to work with him because he's a strong black man. I'm sorry. I think that Sydney gasses her up for his benefit and not for hers. And everybody ain't saying they don't want to work with him because he's a strong black man. If he ever double crosses her in any way she can't ignore, at least we might get some new material. Lastly, I have to ask myself, if she was around all of these dudes doing dirty business and she learned from them, how do we know Mo was clean? Truth be told, I'd be waiting for someone to come out and say, Mo is great, she did this for me, but no one has done that really. I don't think she was lying, but I think there are some realities she won't face. Like, how can she criticize Oprah, Tyler, and Lee about being lackeys for the man, but she ain't called out Steven Spielberg or any of the white executives or producers by name? And I find that curious. Now, a lot of what Jane said, again, it was lengthy, and that's cool. But a lot of what she said, I absolutely, positively agree with a lot of what she's saying here. And again, I get it. I'm not gonna sit here and keep arguing the point over working for free, working for free, working for free, working for free. But at the end of the day, Xavier, what I was actually going to, I was Flame Monroe was part of my conversation. So remind me when I get to the Flame Monroe part. Tell me give me more detail about what you're talking about, because Flame Monroe is actually a part of this conversation. So what I want to do tonight, I want to go beyond the Tyler and Oprah conversation. Will Packer is going to come up, but I want to go beyond that only because I think we've done it to death. We get it. Either you believe left or you believe right. And honestly, like I said, I am not here to convince you otherwise. I'm just here to provide my point of view on why I feel the way I feel. So let's go back to Monique's talk show on BET. For those of us who were around, Monique had the hottest talk show, nighttime talk show on television, right? I mean, she was the new Arsenio. If you're old enough to remember me, if you're old enough, as a matter of fact, if you can find a link, Xavier, of Flame Monroe talking about it, let me know. Because like I said, she's a part of this conversation, and I'm sure she's talked about it. I didn't find a link, and trust me, I got a lot of stuff, baby. I've been working. Okay, I got a lot of receipts up here. That I'm sharing with y'all. I got a lot of receipts. But Monique had, hey Don Boo. Monique had one of the hottest talk shows on television. I mean, like I said, she took the Arsenio Hall playbook, and I'm not saying she copied off Arsenio Hall, because listen, ain't nothing new under the sun. But Arsenio Hall came along at a time when my generation needed somebody that was going to showcase them, right? It was the early years of rap and hip hop, and we needed that. We needed that showcase. And he did that. He brought on, the hip hop artists, and he celebrated our older black kings and black queens who didn't really get a fair shot. He brought on the Diane Carrolls, the Phyllis Hymans, the Patty, like he brought those people on, but he also connected the gap to hip hop and where we were. So she did that for BET. Fast forward to when she did her show, and it was the hottest ticket going. And then all of a sudden, it was gone, and nobody knew what happened. Nobody had no. We like, what happened to, like? And when I say it was gone, mid-season gone. Like one day it was there, and the next day they were like, "Oh, it's on hiatus." And y'all know that that's just a real fancy word for it was canceled, but we ain't ready to tell you it was canceled. So I did some deep diving. I did some deep diving. And I found out what happened. This is where Flame Monroe comes in. So again, if you find a link of Flame Monroe talking about Monique, please just send it to me. Let me know what's there, and I'll play it. But I want to. Now my receipts are probably out of order, but so hold on. Let me see. Look, I know that's that one. Which one is this one? Okay, so this I'm gonna share this article first, and then I'm gonna hold on. Yeah, I'm gonna share this article first. People want to not like Mo because of everything she said, big and dark skin. I will be open in this discussion. Okay. Abundance and clarity. You have every right to your opinion, boo. I don't know if I call Monique dark skin, but okay. Everybody have their own opinion. Okay, here we go. Here we go right here. Okay. So this article. Oh, the radio show. Well, look, I can give you some clarity on the radio. I can give y'all a little bit of. I can give y'all some gossip. I'll say it's gossip. I don't have any facts on her radio show. I got gossip on her. Matter of fact, I read it to y'all before. I know I can't find it now. Shoot, I'll never be able to find it. I'll never be able to find it. Shit. What's her name? Damn. I'll never be able to find it. She posted it on her Facebook, and I follow her on Facebook. Damn it. I should have thought about it, but I know I deleted it. I probably took a screenshot and then I deleted it. What is her name? Oh shoot. She's a radio personality here in the area. Damn it, what's her name? It's not Yolanda. Damn. I don't remember her name. I'm gonna have to just paraphrase it, and I hate to do that because I don't want to misspeak on somebody. But I wish I could remember her name. She just retired too. Shoot, I don't really be on Facebook like that anymore, so I can't remember her name. Anyway, I'll come back around to it because, like I said, I'm gonna have to paraphrase because there's no way I'll find, even if I find her Facebook page. Even if I find her Facebook page, I probably won't be able to find that screenshot because that was like 2 years ago when she posted it. Damn it. And she just retired too. Damn. Okay. Never mind. Let me get back to it because I got plenty of stuff here. I'm just going to have to tell you what she said. But the radio show ended the same way. And again, word on the curb is that Monique was difficult. And they were just tired of her and her attitude. It was here locally in Baltimore. Um, Okay. I found an article on it, so I'm gonna read you this. So this article right here is about her. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry about that. The, the article that I'm sharing now is from the Atlanta Journal and Constitution, and Justine Love. Okay, Tracy, I'll be over there in a second. Thank you, boo. So let me read you guys this article. It's from the Atlanta Journal, and this is about her talk show. So let me read you guys what it's saying. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh, that right there. Okay. And this is from July 27th of 2011. Earlier today, I heard the Monique show had been axed. I had sent an email out to various BET publicists to ask what's up. No word back. At about 1:30 p.m., I called Rodney Perry, who was Monique's sidekick on the show. He said he was running into a meeting and didn't answer my question. While I was at lunch over at the mall court at 1:40, he texted me, I was told indefinite hiatus. Update. I received an email from a spokesperson in BET, which included a slightly milder euphemism. The Monique show will be on production hiatus beginning in the fall. And it just says Monique Hicks and the Monique show are important to the BET network family, and we look forward to continuing our relationship with her. In an interview I did at 2:40 p.m., the stand-up comic said he enjoyed the experience working with Monique. I'm selling out shows now, he said. That's a win. He heard the news from Monique's husband, but hasn't spoken to the Oscar-winning actress yet. He wouldn't say when he knew about this, implying he has known for a while. So first of all, the fact that they say the Oscar-winning actress tells me that she got this job after she won the Oscar. So when you say I was blackballed and nobody would work with me and nobody would do this and nobody would do that, well, you got a whole television show on BET after you won your Oscar. But okay, I'm going to keep going. We did some good work, Perry said, and I think the show is significant. There hasn't been an outlet for people of color on late night since Arsenio. The talk show, which Monique compared to a high energy night party, lasted 2 seasons and had been taped in Turner Studios, which are now being used for BET show Read Between the Lines through October. When I heard that earlier today, I wondered if that meant Monique was not coming back or had been moved to another studio. If her show were coming back, would they be taping a different show in her studio? This did not appear to be an issue of ratings. I didn't have time to do an entire season's check on ratings, so I sampled 4 weeks in April 2011 versus April 2010 and the ratings from April 5th to April 29th, and they averaged 615,000 viewers a night. And from April 4th to April 28th, the show averaged 586. That's only a 5% drop. Media Takeout, which I mean, we know we take that with a grain of salt, but we're going to keep going, broke the story and said there were conflicts between BET's management and Monique. Was it creative and or financial? The story does not say. It also doesn't say if BET will seek another talk show host or just drop the concept. Perry isn't sure why the show was cut, but thinks it might have been a financial decision. They haven't had this type of investment ever, he said. We did 300 shows over 2 seasons. That's a high investment. So that is the article that was originally posted in the Atlanta Journal Constitution. Now I'm going to read you guys this article that I just pulled up about her radio show. The talk show was way before the Oscar. Well, hold on. I'll do a fact check on that. That's an easy fact check. All right. This one is dated March 16, 2009. Monique signs off on radio show. It's been less than a year, but Monique is leaving the airways. The actress, comedian, syndicated radio show will end its run on Wednesday, March the 18th, after just 8 months on the air. Radio Online is reporting that the comedian has chosen to shut down the Monique show in order to further her career in television, film, and comedy. However, the website Radio Syndication Talk says the show was canceled by Syndication One. Details are still coming in, but the handwriting was on the wall when, after a much heralded debut in the Los Angeles show was removed after just 4 months, due to a format shift. The website reported Saturday the same scenario happened in Philadelphia in January, leaving the show with less than 7 affiliates. The Monique show had aired in 5 of the top 10 markets, including Los Angeles and Houston. I would like to thank my fabulous board of directors for their daily inspiration and feedback, and Radio One for the opportunity to further my entertainment brand through radio, Monique said in a statement. So that is in 2009. Can Abby, she won the Oscar in 2010, right? So that was when right. So when somebody said that was way before the Oscar, that's not true. She won the Oscar in 2010. She had her talk show in 2010 and 2011. So it was at the same time. It was the same time. Okay. The talk show was before the Oscar. I mean, the radio show was before the Oscar. The talk show was not. Now, again, I wish I could find, and again, I know it's gone, and I can't even remember the lady's name, so I can't Google her. But it was a radio personality here in the area, and she posted a long post about her experience working with Monique at the local radio station here in DC. The talk show might have started in 2009 as well, but she had the talk show when she won the Oscar. We just did that. All right, let me say that. Okay, let's do this one more time. Let's do this one more time. I just read it, but let's do it one more time. Monique's talk show, it began in 2009. It ended in 2011. She won the Oscar in 2010. So it overlapped. It overlapped. You understand what I'm saying? So while she was doing the show, she had the Oscar. Okay. So she started the show before she won the Oscar. Then she won the Oscar. Then the show was canceled. Got it. We got the timeline. The radio show was before that. Okay. Got it. All right. I want to make sure I got my because I want to make sure I'm right too, y'all. I want to get it all straight in my head too. Boom, boom, boom. Got it. Okay. Now, I did some deep diving. And I want to, and this is where Flame Monroe, and I know y'all told me to check my Twitter, so I'm going to check my Twitter in a second. So I want to share this with you guys. Even after her talk show was canceled, the talk show was canceled, but in July of 2013, Monique was in production for a new television show pilot on BET. Now, we know that pilots don't mean nothing. They do 20,000 pilots. Oh, I didn't share it with y'all. Sorry. I thought I was sharing it with y'all. We know they do 20,000 pilots during give me my Chrome is not responding. Okay, here it is. I'm about to say it's not responding. Here it is right here. They do 20,000 pilots. So we know that doing a pilot does not guarantee anything, but it shows that in 2013, even after they canceled her talk show in 2011, that she at least got a meeting with BET to sit down and discuss the possibility of a pilot. That is the conversation. That's what I want y'all to understand. Okay. So let me stop sharing that. I'm just going through what I found. I did a deep dive today, y'all. I was doing a lot of Googling. I was doing a lot of the Google stuff. Okay. Okay. Here is, I found this again. I found this online. But I'm going to share it with you guys and we're going to read through it. Shout, I see y'all in the chat having a good time. I'm gonna let y'all talk in the chat amongst yourselves. Okay. Shout out to the 251 people that are in the room. If you could please hit the like button. If you're new here, go ahead and subscribe. Even when we disagree respectfully. So I love y'all anyway. I sound like Monique now. I love y'all anyway. We don't have to agree, you guys. We don't have to agree, but I just want to go through what I found, and then we can have the conversation. And like I said, I may drop the link, and feel free to come up and say, you know, if you want to have some things to say. Okay. Trying to get rid of this ad. All right. What? I want to get rid of the whole thing. Never mind. All right. This is coming from a website called Rhymes with Snitch. Okay. It says news from the bathroom wall. So it is a gossip blog, but it says here the real reason Monique lost her show on BET. Back in 2009, comedian Monique famously refused to go to France to promote herself at the Cannes Film Festival without being paid. We're going to keep going through that. At the time, Monique claimed she refused because she had a talk show to tape on BET. But the show was canceled not long after. Now we know why. While guest hosting on the T.S. Madison, the Queen's Supreme Court, Flame Monroe claims that BET CEO at the time, Deborah Lee, unceremoniously pulled the plug on Monique's show after Monique roasted Deborah during one of her stand-up comedy shows. Monroe claims that Monique came to work the next day and all their belongings, including hair, makeup, and wardrobe, were sitting in the parking lot on dollies. Now that's what that says. Let me let y'all. Is that what y'all sent me, the clip of Flame Monroe talking about that, or did y'all send me? Let me look online because my people done sent me some clips. So let me see what they done sent me, honey. Give me a second. Y'all know my people. Y'all know my people don't play with me. Okay, Tracy saying, "Ooh, okay, okay." Y'all sent me the same one, so I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it on the speaker. And then I found Monique's Monique. I found where Monique told us why it happened. So I have Monique's version of why her talk show got canceled. Okay, I try to bring y'all both sides of the coin. What is this? Oh, okay. All right, so let's listen to what Flame Monroe had to say. Now, I haven't heard this, y'all. Y'all know Flame Monroe like to cuss and stuff, so but I'm gonna let y'all hear what Flame, and y'all don't know who Flame Monroe is. Flame Monroe is a comedian. Hold on. Why it ain't coming up? It won't. Give me a second, y'all. It won't let me. I gotta go to my. It's age restricted, so I gotta put it in. Okay, here it is right here. It's a 5-minute video, so it's not too long. All right, here we go.
They Ready on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, see it. Netflix is getting sued. That just came out. Monique is suing Netflix, and Netflix is clapping back. What are your thoughts on the lawsuit?
Me and Monique have a little shake and bake right now.
Little shake and bake.
Little shake and bake. But I'm actually done with. I said my part of how it went down. I knew Monique before, not in a major way, but cordial enough to say, "Hey, how you doing?" And I don't know what that is all about. That has nothing to do with me. If you look at what she's suing for, which is what is it, racial bias and gender bias, play They Ready in court, and the whole thing is over. Seriously. All you have to do, They Ready had 2 lesbians producing, Wanda Sykes and Paige Horowitz, open gay lesbians. Tiffany Haddish was a producer, black woman. April Macy, white woman. Shantae Wayans, open lesbian. Ida Rodriguez, Latino woman. Marla Williams, ghetto woman. And then you had Tracy Ashley, who's a black woman married to a white man. Yeah. Then you have Flame Monroe, who is black, half a man, half a woman, transgender, got kids. You covered all the bases. Where is the racial and gender bias?
I think it's an uphill battle. Some people are comparing it to Byron Allen's lawsuit of Comcast. I don't think it's the same thing for what you just said. But there's still...
that shouldn't even be in the same arena. That is just really ridiculous. What Byron Allen is fighting for seems very relevant. What Monique is fighting for does not seem to have the same meat as what Byron Allen is fighting for. And I understand that she deserves credit. Monique is a legend in the comedy game. Monique is a brilliant talent. But Monique needs to understand that sometimes this will stop this.
She's pointing to her mouth. We'll stop the money.
We'll stop the money. And I understand that you have to stand up and fight for who you are and what you want and woo. But it's hard to say boycott Netflix because they're gender biased, and then they give Wanda Sykes an opportunity, and Wanda Sykes is nominated for not 1 but 2 Emmys.
Yeah, listen. It is. So pay equity and all of that other stuff was on the table because I know Tiffany Haddish didn't get nearly the amount of money that others.
I don't know what Tiffany got. All I know is what Tiffany did was took a pay cut out of whatever money they did offer her to give it to us.
Everybody else.
To give it to all 6 of us.
Which is something that you were saying that Monique didn't do. Give opportunity. She did just the opposite. I saw the clip where she blocked you from making money, from getting a radio show.
She did.
And again,
wow.
For someone who sits here every day and all we do is give opportunity to people, I think that's an abomination to block anybody's bag for whatever reason. But I'm glad that you're now, because things happen in the fullness of time. You're sitting in this seat right now because somebody gave you an opportunity to.
And I don't want people to think that me and Monique are back and forth.
Right. No, there isn't.
Because we're not. I said what I said, but I would like to know why. What was your reasoning for doing that to me? Because I hadn't done anything to you. Wow. You didn't know me. But if you didn't want to work with me, how about if you don't want to work for somebody at your job, then you don't show up. Don't stop somebody else's money. If I worked here with you, Karen, all the time, and you got on my nerve, I just wouldn't come to work. I'd go work somewhere else.
You would come to work.
Of course I would. But I'm not going to stop nobody else's money. Especially when you're talented. I see the big picture. When you're talented, you might not like the person. It's hard to work with them. But you see the big picture. This person is talented. They bring in something.
Okay. I'm going to play this one too. And it's a quick clip, but this is my girl, Tammy Mack. Shout out to my girl, Tammy Mack from Fox. Well, this is from her Fox Soul. I went to college with Tammy. I did radio
in Chicago for 10 years for free. V103. Haters in the radio behind the scenes wouldn't hire me. They said that we don't know if America's ready for you. This was long before podcasts. And so they could see me through the radio. Right. But they wouldn't hire me. But I was on every week as a guest and anything for free. John Mons, who was huge in Chicago, John Mons, Bonnie DeShawn, and George Wilborn. John Mons left to go to D.C. He got a job at a radio station in D.C. He said, Flame Monroe, I want you on my team. At the time, there was another comedian who was very famous at the time, big name, big girl. Figure it out yourself. It's a puzzle. Big name, big girl. Talked about fat jokes the entire time.
Okay.
Anyway, so I had worked with her in passing. We had met, never hung out or nothing, but very cordial to each other in the green room. When John got the job, and John got to sign me up. This was 1999, $100,000. I was an unknown comic. $100,000 was great for me. I had no kids. I was saying, especially in 99. Without question, they wanted to hire me on his word. On his word, the female comedian said, oh, I can't work with somebody with that lifestyle because she has so much power and such a black woman. John Mons called me 2 days later. I'm packing my house up to move to D.C. John Mons said, Flame, what did you do to Monique? I say, what do you mean? What did you do to Monique? I say, what are you talking about? Man, she threw you under the bus. She dogged you. She can't work with your lifestyle and woo. that kicked me in my ass for real, because I was devastated. Like, you don't even know me. Right. You haven't never sat down and had a conversation with me. At that time, I had a girlfriend. I didn't have any children. We had a boyfriend. It was like that. We did. But this is what you do. So you don't know what you did to me. So that crushed me back at that time, because this was my time to go here when I was so much younger, and would be probably because I love radio. I always loved radio. And
we talked about that.
Yes, we did. And I've never.
So she's explaining exactly, and this is her story. Just listen. This is Flame Monroe's story, just like Monique has her story, just like everybody else has their story. So I'm not going to discredit Flame Monroe's story because I don't know any different. But we've heard two different interviews where she's telling the same story, that Monique blocked her from getting this radio show. According to her, Monique didn't want to deal with Flame's lifestyle. For people who don't know, Flame is transgender. And I don't know it to be true or not true, but I know that Flame done told this story. We just heard her twice. But it's funny how allegedly you did the same thing that you are now accusing people did to you. Allegedly. Okay? So I told you guys that Flame Monroe's version of the story is that Monique's television show got canceled. Her talk show got canceled because she was talking shit about her boss. Now, I'm going to read you a transcript. This is a transcript from Monique's podcast where she told the story about how her television show got canceled. Now, this is Monique's. I'm reading you guys the transcript, okay? And I found it online. I didn't turn over any rocks. I just Googled the stuff and dug deep enough and it popped up. So this is on Lipstick Alley. It's on threads on Lipstick Alley, but this is the actual transcript. Somebody transcribed this part of Monique's podcast. So this is coming from, I'm going to read it to you guys. It's kind of small writing. I'll share the screen, but it's kind of small writing, but okay. Okay, here it is right here. All right. So let me, like I said, the writing is small, so bear with me. Listening to her podcast, the one dated Monique Sydney Open Relationship, What Happened to the Monique Show on BET. That's the title of the podcast. And she delves into the subject matter of why her talk show was canceled. She says she is only addressing this because people still ask her. So, former exec Laretha Jones convinced her to do the show, even though people say, BET ain't shit. Now, this is a quote. Monique said, BET ain't shit. She says they worked with some really great young producers in the 3 seasons and that people were really passionate about their jobs. People wanted to bring something positive to late night and give attention to us and ours. She talked about not being paid for 3 weeks in a row. She says that someone from accounting approached her hairstylist about the cost of a bun, as if I was stealing from the network to get my hair done, she said. She started off by saying that Deborah Lee and her team had come to a taping of the show that was discussing cancer. She said that Deborah and her team were late. She said that Deborah never apologized for being late, just introduced all the chefs, and she put chefs in quotation marks. Monique says that she tells the group, this is something special. We know people believe the rumors about BET and not wanting to be on the show or on the network, but we can turn this around. And if you're not here to make it beautiful, get the F off the train and let somebody else get on. And she hugs Deborah Lee and tells her that if there's anything she needs to just call and the night ends. So you told the owner of the network that her network won't shit. And if she need anything from you to give you a call, okay, girl. She said Sydney then flew to D.C. because y'all know the BET headquarters used to be in D.C. Sydney then flew to D.C. the next day trying to get an interview with Barack Obama. She said that Laretha Jones called and said Deborah wants a meeting. Deborah said someone on her staff was offended by Monique's speech. Deborah won't say who it was, but that Monique should apologize. Sydney asked who was there, and Sydney asked some of the people who were there if they were offended, and they all say no. And Monique does that. I found in my research tonight, Monique does that a lot. When somebody says something happened, she asks all around those people to prove what they said was wrong. But we'll keep going. Deborah asked Monique through Sydney if she can host a retreat for the higher-ups. They ask if it's a paying gig. The network says no, and they decline. Sydney felt like that was a power move. They say that another comedian agreed to do it for free, but they wouldn't say who it was. Monique says that Laretha Jones then tells them that the show kicked George Lopez in the ratings with no advertisement, but in the same breath tells them that the network is pulling 50 shows, leaving them with only 100 shows for the season. Laretha has no answer and is just telling them what she was told. Monique talks about signing contracts and how there is always a clause about disparaging remarks. So you're admitting that there was a clause in your contract that if you make disparaging remarks, then there could be that could be a violation of your contract. Okay. She talks to Deborah Lee. The budget was being cut, even though she is bringing in the biggest numbers the network has seen it at that time. Monique says that during a meeting on the phone, Deborah's tone towards her is that of someone who is being dishonest and not genuine. Monique asked Deborah, "Do you think I'm a genuine person?" Deborah said, "Sometimes." And Monique wanted to know from Deborah, at what time has she ever not been genuine? Says that there is some back and forth, and that Deborah tells her that from her understanding, if I was white, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Mo tells Deborah, "Check my resume. It's not about your color. If it's wrong, it's wrong." Says that this is the reason why she would not do the free show in the Bahamas. The next week after saying no to the trip, it is when they found out the show was picked up for season 3, but the show was being cut to 100 shows. So it was picked up for season 3, but then they cut the amount of shows there. So here's the thing. Again, I think you're making this conversation between you and Deborah Lee sound very, very nice and very flowery. But let's not forget that this woman was your boss and you were talking to her like she was your equal, and she wasn't. You worked for her. You worked on her network. She wasn't your equal, ma'am. And when she said to you, if I were white, you wouldn't talk to me this way. My interpretation of that is, you're not respecting me as your boss, but if I were white, you would be giving me that respect. That doesn't make it true. I'm telling you how I feel. Okay. Monique talks to Deborah Lee. Oh, I just told you that. Monique says that during a meeting on the phone, Deborah's tone towards Monique is that of someone who, I just read that. Hold on, y'all. Let me scroll down. I read all of that. Sorry. A week after that, they found out the show was going on hiatus. Says they never got an explanation on why the show was canceled, even though it was the highest rated show that it was. Talks about bringing Black talent on the show and how some were reluctant at first, but people like Snoop Dogg called out other rappers about not supporting our own. She talks about the execs who have left BET. Says with all the rumors of them being difficult, no one has called to have a conversation. And again, she talked about Oprah, Tyler, and now she added Deborah Lee. Monique says she saw Deborah last year at Alvin Ailey. Deborah was sitting behind her and got up and got in front of her, bent down and said hello. Monique said it wasn't a hello from the heart. So Monique's face was like, bitch, get lost. Monique said that Deborah approached her again, and this time Monique scooted up and said to her, "You need to get out of my face." Mo says that Deborah went back to her seat and that Deborah's daughter asked what that was all about. Deborah said that everything was okay. Monique feels that was a show that she put on for the folks that were looking. Mo says she has no animosity towards Deborah, says that she would love to do another show, but someone else would have to be at the helm. So what that says to me, and again, I'm not here to change anyone's mind. I am here to give you context on why I feel the way I feel. So I walk away from that hearing Flame Rose's version of the story and hearing Monique's version of the story. I understand why her show got canceled. And see, y'all are focusing on the wrong stuff. Who cares how Deborah Lee got her job? It doesn't matter. She's the boss. Like, again, you can walk into your job tomorrow and you know that your boss got his or her job through nepotism, got his or her job through sleeping with somebody, got his or her job because nobody else was available at the time. It doesn't change the fact that that's your boss. You don't have to respect how they got their job. You don't have to even like how they got their job, but it doesn't change the fact that that is your boss. And I think I get it. Okay, y'all don't respect Deborah. Y'all don't like Deborah Lee. I ain't no big Deborah Lee fan either. But at the end of the day, it doesn't change the fact that that's her boss. But okay, y'all, let's keep going. Where my water at, child? Give me a second. I got to parch. I'm parched. I don't have to call Deborah Lee out because Deborah Lee didn't. Why do I have to call Deborah Lee out from that exchange? Because here's the thing: I'm not going to follow a red herring. Y'all, people, and when I say y'all, I'm just saying in general. I'm not following a red herring. You want me to roll down this hill of Deborah Lee, and I don't need to roll down that hill of Deborah Lee. What does that have to do? We're talking about why Monique's show got canceled. At the end of the day, Deborah Lee was the boss. And it sounds like Monique was disrespectful to her boss. Now, if y'all don't see it that way, that's fine. I can't make y'all see it that way. That's how I see it. I see it as Monique was being disrespectful to her boss. She admitted that there was a clause in her contract that allowed them to basically cancel her contract if she made disparaging comments about BET, about the boss, or whatever. And once again, we come across an example of somebody asking her to do something and her refusing to do it because there wasn't a paycheck attached to it. Again, I cannot say that Monique was right or wrong for not wanting to do the retreat for free. I'm not going to say she should have done it for free. That is not what I'm going to say. But again, I will stick by. Sometimes it's about opportunity. Y'all ain't never done something in the capacity of your career and you did it for free because you knew or you hoped that there would be an opportunity on the back end. Y'all have never done that before? Talking about the character Monique. I'm talking about, so Star said, I thought you were talking about the character of Monique, so why can't we talk about the character of Deborah? I'm not talking about the character Monique. I am talking about the things that Monique has done that has put her in the situation that she is in. It's not just about Oprah and Tyler. That is what I'm talking about. I'm saying that this is not, because again, we're going beyond Oprah and Tyler. We are leaving that story there. Again, everybody can feel the way that they feel about it. I'm giving y'all other examples that show you why I feel the way that I feel about Monique. That's all I'm saying. So no, it's not about her character. I don't know Monique. I don't have an opinion about Monique's character as it relates to, I'm talking about specific examples based on stuff I just found on the internet that don't have shit to do with Tyler Perry and don't have shit to do with Oprah, but they are all about Monique. We've been here for almost an hour and we have heard she wouldn't perform for free. Again, a different example. We have heard she lost her radio show allegedly for being difficult. She lost her TV show allegedly for being difficult. She talked shit to her supervisor. Not her supervisor, the boss, the owner. Period. So for me, it's not about her character. But we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. What Pam say? Y'all keep saying Pam enlightened us. Hold on, let me scroll up. Pam said, I was looking at Monique's side eye when she said a deal memo wasn't a contract, but I digress. Well, Pam, I'm going to drop the link. If you feel like it, you can come on up and tell us and give us the legalese on the difference between a deal. Listen, let me say this. And I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done with it. And again, I'm going to let Pam come up if she wants to give us the difference between a deal memo and a contract. But even taking that out of the equation, when you looked at the advertisement, when you looked at all of the advertisement for that particular show with D.L. Hughley, D.L. Hughley was at the top. When you heard the radio drops, D.L. Hughley was the headliner. When you look at what time D.L. Hughley was supposed to perform versus what time Monique was supposed to perform, but whatever, child. All right, we already talked about that too. I'm not even going to talk about D.L. Hughley, child. Monique and D.L. Hughley keep going back. Okay. Monique is not normal. It's hard to compare her with what we would do. I don't know what that means, Ravine. Monique is normal. What do you mean she's not normal? I don't understand. I don't understand what that means. She's not normal. I think sometimes, and we've had this conversation with Nene about Nene a million times. For some reason, people seem to separate what we do in our day-to-day lives from celebrities in their day-to-day lives. It's a job. Just like y'all get up every day and go to work and you have a boss and there's expectations and there are rules and there's etiquette and there are boundaries. They have the same thing. Just because they make $1 million and I might make whatever I make, it doesn't change the expectation and the hierarchy. You don't get to walk on a movie set and tell Steven Spielberg what he's doing wrong. That's not how this shit works. And it doesn't, just like you can't walk into your job and be disrespectful. And now you can be critical, but you can't be disrespectful in how you present that criticism. And I don't understand why people don't understand that. I'm going to be honest with you. That is something that really, truly confuses me. I don't know. But okay, moving on. Because again, we got a couple other things to get through, y'all. I want to get into this John Murray situation. I want to get into this John Murray situation. Now, this one is a little lengthy, but again, it's a reason. There's a reason why I'm going through this. Okay. So for people who don't know, John Murray is a entertainment correspondent, for lack of a better word. He's an entertainment correspondent. Now, a few years ago, him and Monique got into a back and forth. So I'm going to play you guys some of what he said, and I'm going to play you guys, and I found, some of what she said, and some of the stuff that she said was just an outright lie that he debunked. Other things was just, him going back and forth. So let me play you guys. Is this the first one? Yeah. I'm gonna play you guys this one first. And again, I'm just playing some of it because it's a whole hour-long video. We damn sure ain't about to listen to an hour-long video. But we're gonna listen to a few minutes of it. Hold on, let me share the screen. ReallyBTV, people in the arts act different. They do feel like they have a hierarchy. They do feel like that have a hierarchy. That's what I just said. I said there's a hierarchy. Maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. And let's be clear. I think Monique is talented as hell. I think Monique is funny as hell, but I also think Monique has gotten in her own way. And I think that she finds it very interesting to blame other people. And I think we focus on Monique, on Oprah, when there are other examples. There are other examples. Is this the one that I want? I think this is the one I want. Let me make sure. Sister Circle. Yeah. Okay. So this is John Murray. For those who don't know who he is, under his bio, it says TV host and pop culture expert. John Murray talks about, okay, this is the description of the thing. But he used to be on the Tom Joy in the Morning Show and other things like that. So I'm going to play a little bit of the video. Like I said, I'm going to play a little bit of the video and let you guys hear him and Monique got into it because he gave commentary on the interview that Monique did. And they went back and forth for a minute.
We're talking about me on her weekly podcast. And, you know, I mean, here's the thing. For whatever reason, people are still interested in them. You know, I don't understand the appeal, but, you know, people like what they like. But they basically was like, you know, Monique took a dig on you on the show, and she said you were tongue-tied on the radio. So here's the thing. She was talking about the whole Hollywood gender pay inequity thing. And basically she used me as an example as she mischaracterized the radio interview that we had and everything that was said about her before. You know, Monique has a very unhealthy relationship with the truth. She's very delusional about things that have happened to her and Hollywood, her interactions with other people. They live in her and her husband live in an alternative universe, and they like to make up stories and just, I mean, and in regards to me, I only watched about 2.5 minutes of the dialogue.
Okay, everybody keeps dropping it in the chat. This is Sherry Shepard's executive producer on her show. So that's who he is.
But they basically lied about their interaction with me. I don't do really well with lies. Like, don't talk about me. Don't make up stuff about me. You know, if there's not a reason to have a dialogue about me, keep my name out your mouth. So let me refresh your memory and just kind of walk you through this thing. Back when I was on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, back in 2010, when Monique was going through her, 2009, leading in 2010, when Monique was going through her Academy Awards campaign, I work in Hollywood. At the time, I was an entertainment reporter for AOL Black Voices, and I was an on-air personality on the Tom Joyner Morning Show that covered entertainment and pop culture. I would go on the air and talk about the various things that were going on in the business. I would talk about events that I attended. I was talking about TV shows. I covered and offered commentary in pop culture. On her podcast, Monique described me as a gossip reporter. I've never been a gossip reporter. I'm a journalist. I'm college educated. I have credentials in this business. I know how to use the King's English. I covered entertainment professionally. I sat on CNN and HLN. I've hosted entertainment shows. I've sat on daytime talk shows. I'm an entertainment reporter who has now evolved into television hosting and commentating. But I digress. But Monique, who at the time worked in the business, dogged me out and said that I wanted her to participate in slavery, to work for free. I was trying to justify why Hollywood didn't want to pay her and treat her fairly. I name dropped and used Will Smith to justify the things that I said to her. Here are the facts. So while I was on the Tom Joyner Morning Show, I chronicled the various things that she did in the business. And I said, the feedback on her really isn't great. There are a lot of things that are happening that aren't great. Now, I was really trying to take a constructive approach to my dialogue about Monique on the radio. And I did not go into the other things that I heard. During that time, I knew that.
Okay, so he's getting ready to now get into the gossip. Now, he just got finished saying he's not a gossip person, but baby, he about to give you some gossip on Monique. Now, again, whether you believe it or not, I ain't here to tell you it's true or it's not true. But baby, he about to tell it. Now, buckle up. He about to tell it.
There was a makeup artist that had been fired and told to find her own way home from Europe. I never went on the radio and shared the things that Gerald Levert told me directly about Monique. Never talked about the PR person that was fired for telling Monique that photographers said that she really should shave her legs. I didn't talk about all the awful things that she did to people. I never went on the radio and talked about how I was actually at one of the Q&As for Precious. And when the Lionsgate executive walked me and one of my friends to the car, they were talking about how they would never work with her again. And that studio would never work with her again because she was so difficult and they were tired of her shaking her down for money. Said that to me. Said that to me. I never said.
So that doesn't sound like Tyler Perry is running around town blackballing her. It sounds like a whole lot of people was talking about Monique and her behavior as it related to Precious. I'm just saying. Sound like it was more than one person talking shit. I'm just saying.
Said those things on the radio because the reality is that all I needed to focus on was the fact that she was missing major events, that she wouldn't show up to promote her film, that she wouldn't do the due diligence to support a project that could have changed the trajectory of her professional career. Here are the facts. Sometimes you sign on to do a big budget film. Sometimes you sign on to do an indie film. A big budget film may pay you a lot of money. You may not get any critical acclaim. An independent film may not pay you a lot of money, and you don't get paid to promote either the independent or the big budget film. But promoting a project that you're in only benefits you as the talent, because if it goes on to make a lot of money, then people say, oh my God, you're a draw at the box office. If it goes on to get you a lot of critical acclaim, then what it does is it creates a desire for people to want to work with you. And so when you go through the process of being a good employee, a non-difficult employee, a non-nasty employee, an employee who doesn't try to shake a studio down for $100,000 to go support a film that you would make more than $100,000 if you just show your fat ass up and go promote the movie, then you realize that you could go on to do great things. So it's just real simple math. Nobody, 0, 0, 0, 0, nobody gets paid to promote a movie.
So I want to be clear that we're hearing nobody gets paid to promote a film. Now, Whoopi done told y'all that, and you getting ready to hear somebody else say the same thing. I'm going to play till it gets to that part. But nobody gets paid to promote a film.
So the context in which Monique drops the Will Smith reference is, I interviewed Will Smith specifically for a movie that he was promoting and was not being paid for. And I asked him specifically because at the time in which I interviewed him, he was listed as the greatest grossing box office star in the world. That means that all of his movies combined had made more money than everybody else working in this business. So I asked the most successful box office star in Hollywood at that time what he thought about Monique and her resistance of promoting films. And Will Smith said, and I quote, when you don't finish working on a film when they say cut the day that you finish shooting the film. No, you finish working on the film the 3 months that it takes you to roll it out in the US. And if you're blessed to have a film go international, then that's when you finish working on a film. Because when you promote a film, you're not paid to promote a film. It helps your bottom line, and you too could end up like Will Smith and be the biggest grossing box office star in the world. Now, here are things that we know. Men and women in Hollywood definitely are not paid equal. People of color and white people in Hollywood are not paid equal. Yes, that's something that needs to change. But this is what I also know to be true. You can fix a system if you're a part of a system. Once you're thrown out of a system, you can't do nothing about it but sit on the sidelines and be hecklers on the sidelines.
Okay, so Pam, y'all know my girl Pam, who did go to law school, who does do celebrity contracts. Now, I'm not going to run her resume because I ain't going to tell her business. But I know for a fact Pam has written contracts for people y'all know, okay? I'm not talking about no hole in the wall, people that you never heard of. Pam has done contracts for people you know. Pam said promo tours are considered in the total paid amount. is usually in the contract, right? So you not having to come out of your pocket to promote a movie versus getting a paycheck to promote a movie are two different things. And that's what we're talking about. Because remember, Lionsgate offered to pay her to pay for her hotel and her flight. And I'm sure they were going to give her a per diem. They just weren't going to cut her a joke. See, Ravine, no, they didn't. Lionsgate did not pay Monique anything. I'm going to say it one more time. Lionsgate had nothing to do with Monique's original contract. Monique signed her contract with Will Packer. It was an independent film, and he paid her $50,000. That film was an independent film that probably only 10 people was going to see had Lionsgate, Tyler Perry, and Oprah had not decided they were going to pick it up and get distribution for it. I think that might be part of where we're losing people. Lionsgate, Oprah Winfrey, and Tyler Perry had absolutely nothing to do with that contract. That's a Will, I meant Lee, sorry. They had nothing to do with that contract. That contract was Lee Daniels coming out of his pocket financing this independent film. Lee Daniels gave Tyler Perry a copy of the film and asked him to check it out. Tyler Perry said that he watched it on his plane flying from somewhere to somewhere else. He saw it, he liked it. He called his friend Oprah and said, "This movie is great. I want you to see it." Oprah saw the movie and said, "Oh shit, we got to get on this." And what they did was they put a budget together for the distribution through Lionsgate. So what happened was the movie went from maybe being, I'm just making up a number, the movie went from maybe being seen on 500 screens throughout the United States to being seen on 50,000 screens throughout the world. That is what Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, and Lionsgate did. So her contract was never with Tyler Perry. Her contract was never with Oprah, and it was never with Lionsgate. There probably was nothing in her contract about a promotional tour because Lee Daniels was promoting it out of his pocket, and he ain't had no money for no promotional tour. And it wasn't going to be no promotional tour. So when they called her and offered her, "Listen, can you go to Cannes in the south of France, and we're going to pay for you to go, and we're going to get you a hotel room, and can you just do some press for a week?" And Monique said no. And then Lionsgate called her back again and said, "Hey, girl, how about we do this? How about we upgrade your room? We're going to give you a suite, and we're going to pay for you to stay there for 2 weeks, and you can just take a nice vacation with your family." She wasn't coming out of her pocket by going. She just wasn't getting an extra paycheck to go. Y'all understand what I'm saying? So she wasn't losing anything by going. And she said that she wanted to spend time with her family. Girl, go to the south of France with your family. And that's what Whoopi said. Whoopi said, "Girl, you should have called me because I told you how to let you know what to say and what to do so that you could have ended up with a whole vacation for free. No, you wouldn't have got a paycheck, but you would have spent 2 weeks in the south of France and wouldn't have came out your pocket for nothing." So that's what I'm like those are the parts of the story that people ain't saying. It's not that she wouldn't have lost anything. She wouldn't have lost any money. They weren't asking her to come out of her pocket to do anything. And that is how it works in the movie industry. You go on a promo tour. Yes, they're going to pay your per diem. They're going to pay for your glam. They're going to pay for the whole for first class tickets. I mean, depending on the budget, they're going to pay for your hotel. No, you're not going to get an extra paycheck. Let me ask y'all a question. And then I'm going to move on and let y'all hear. I'm going to move on. I told you we're going to be here a while. But let me ask y'all a question. Has anybody here ever went on a conference for their job? Who said the South of France don't cost nothing? When was the last time you went to the South of France? Shit, I just went to the South of France last summer, or the summer before last. It was not a cheap trip. Let me tell you. I don't know when you went to the South of France, baby, but it was not a cheap trip. Not for me, it wasn't. Maybe you know something I don't know. But by the time I paid for my flight and stayed at my Airbnb, our rental car was $500. No, let me take that back. It was $500 a person for the rental car. Now, that was post-COVID, and they was tripping about the rental cars, but that's not the point. The rental car was $500 a piece. Now, I'm just at my flight, and I fly business class when I go international. So my business class flight and my hotel or my Airbnb and my rental car, that won't cheap. Now, I ain't say it was $50,000, but it won't cheap. Anyway, moving on. Anybody in here ever been on a conference with their job? Now, with my job, I didn't have to come out of my pocket, right? But I didn't get an extra bump on my paycheck. Now, maybe y'all did. I didn't. I didn't have to come out of my pocket. I got a per diem. They paid for my flight. The per diem covered my meals. They paid for a hotel. I stayed at a nice hotel. I went to, one time I was in Memphis. I was right on Beale Street, right across from, right over by BB King's Lounge, a bar, a jazz club. I had a good time. Now, Rashad said they got a little extra bump on their paycheck. I ain't getting no extra bump on my paycheck. I didn't have to come out of my pocket, but I ain't getting no extra bump on my paycheck. So again, it's the same concept though, y'all. Moving on. So Monique, then Monique again responded. I want to be fair, and I want to let you guys know some of what Monique said. So Monique responded, and she dropped interviews to dispel rumors. She dropped videos of her doing interviews to dispel rumors that she was difficult to work with. Now I'm gonna read you guys this article. Hold on, let me share it, because again, I want to be fair. I don't want y'all to think I'm just showing a one-sided. LLD said, "You are speaking the truth. I travel 50% for my job, and there's no bump on the paycheck." Oh, thank you so much, Jesus. Oh, thank you so much. CJ Duncan said, "No, we don't get extra on our paycheck." Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Let me see what Pam said. Hold on. Pam said something a second ago. Hold on. Let me scroll back up to my girl, because Pam said she might not have been obligated, but why would you consider her in the future if she isn't going to help promote it? That's a risk she took. Bam. There we go. Okay. But I do want to be fair, so let me show you guys her response. So I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm not showing a lot of videos of Monique's response because she do a whole lot of pontificating before she gets to the point. She do a whole lot of babies and sugars, and so I just want to read through some of what she got to say, okay? So, over the last month, Monique has been accused of having less than stellar on-set behavior. Journalist Juwan Murray exposed Monique's alleged content. Oh, no, wait a minute. Hold on. I want to read. That's not the one I want to read. Stop. Hold on. I want to read that after the next. Hold on. There's something. I want to read that after the next video. Hold on. Let me find the right one, y'all. I'm sorry. Oh, Lord. I can't find the one I'm looking for. Ooh. Is this the one right here? No. Okay, that ain't the right one. All right, well, let me go to the next video because I do have a couple of Monique's responses, but it's after this next video. So let me go to the next video, and then I'll go to Monique's responses, and then we'll be done. We're going to wrap it up after that, and I will drop the link. So if anybody wants to come up and get their opinion, you are more than welcome to do so. Again, I have my opinion. I'm not here to change your mind. I'm just here to just maybe give more perspective outside of Oprah and Tyler, because I really don't. I'm really done with that conversation, even though I feel like we done ended up right back there. Did you hear her Reggie Wells audio? I did. I heard it. I did. What'd I do? Oh, let me share the screen. Now, yeah, you get them Delta. Now, you do get them frequent flyer miles. Now, I know friends who have flown all over the world based off their frequent flyer miles that they get from their job. Now, I do know they do that, honey. Okay. So Monique went on her podcast and once again addressed Juan Murray. So here's his response. And again, I do not have Monique's podcast, so I don't want it's not to be one-sided. It's just it's a lot. I couldn't find it. I'm sure there are clips somewhere, but anyway, here's what Juan Murray has to say. It's a little lengthy, but you guys need to really hear the whole thing.
And then she went on Sway in the Morning and made reference to me again before showing up in my social media. So here's the thing. I did not watch the entire Sway in the Morning broadcast because at this point in my life, I can't not stomach Monique and that husband and all that my brother, my sister, kumbaya, my Lord talk. I can't do it. It drives me nuts. I don't believe that the things that they say and the delivery in which they give it is authentic. And so because of that, I can't stomach it. And so with that in mind, somebody sent me a clip where she said she was the most decorated comedian alive. Well, I know that that's factually incorrect because Whoopi Goldberg is the only comic that currently has an EGOT. For those who did not see the video that I cut in response to Monique, an EGOT is a select group of people. I think there's 13 of them at this point that have an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar, and a Tony. They are the most prestigious awards that you can have. There's only a select group of people that have all of them. And it is the most decorated group of people to have the combination of those four people. Now, anybody who's in Hollywood understands what most decorated means, and they understand that that award is that prestigious that only a select group have it. So I cut the video breaking it down. Monique got upset and she showed up on my Instagram timeline. And because I like facts and figures, I'm going to read you the correspondence. She said, and I quote, and here is.
Now, baby, he went and printed out all of the comments back and forth, and he's about to lay it out for you. Ravine, you said that it's not a vacation. I said that what I was saying was that Lionsgate offered to pay for Monique to stay in Cannes a week after the festival, and I said she could have turned it into a vacation. That's what I was saying. No, while she was there for the week of Cannes Film Festival, she'd have been working. But they offered to keep a hotel room for her for 2 weeks. That's what they offered to do. Okay, let me let y'all hear what he's saying.
My printout of what was on my Instagram timeline. Brother, I must give you an education. Our beautiful sister Whoopi is not a stand-up comic. Just ask her, brother. Love you to life. Now, before I even read to you how I responded, I just want to point out to you that Whoopi is an EGOT winner. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Now, here's the thing. Whoopi has a whole lot of other awards, but she has the four most prestigious awards that you can receive in this business. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. And the Grammy in her EGOT, guess what it's for? A comedy album. So I'm not sure what alternate universe that Monique doesn't think Whoopi Goldberg is a comic. I'm not sure that why she doesn't recall that Whoopi did those comedy specials with Robin Williams and the other guy. I can't think of
Billy Crystal
his name. I'm not sure if she never saw Whoopi Goldberg's stand-up comedy specials on HBO. I don't know why she doesn't realize that Whoopi Goldberg started in this business as a comic, and I just don't get it. But nonetheless, I responded to her sister. She called me brother, so I thought I should be nice. Not only have I worked with Whoopi Goldberg while co-hosting The View, I've twice attended her stand-up comedy shows at Treasure Island in Las Vegas. That's me, myself, and I, John Murray. I went to Whoopi Goldberg's stand-up comedy shows at Treasure Island in Las Vegas. And being that her team is on this thread and thanked me for stating the facts, which is true, maybe it's you that needs to be educated on the facts and how you cannot rewrite them. Just as you did on the Cafe Mocha radio interview when you stated you were the first woman of color to host a late night show, dismissing again Whoopi's accomplishment. #facts. So after I responded that way, Monique then responds. Here's the second group of responses. This is Monday on my Instagram timeline. And please, brother, tell me about our brother Jamie awards. You know that everyone he has gotten, he deserves. I know you've done your homework. I've always done my homework, Monique. I have done my homework. And I would not have to fact check you if you would keep my name out of your radio interviews. Because as a journalist and pop culture expert with an education and professional credits to back it, not the quote gossip reporter John Mary, like you've been saying on air, I live in a world based on research, facts, and figures, not made up statistics and rewrites of history. But I wish you all the best. Now, in response to me cutting this video and handling Monique that way, she has somebody circulating some meme that.
Now I'm not. Yes, this is an old interview because, like I said, an old video because, like I said from the beginning, this is about. Let's look at the totality of Monique, not just that one situation. So yes, this is an old video, and I don't think he just doesn't like Monique. He is responding to things Monique has said about him. But okay, I'm really not sure why she chose to say that Whoopi Goldberg was not a stand-up comic. Has Whoopi Goldberg expanded her career? Yes, but literally Steven Spielberg discovered Whoopi Goldberg doing stand-up, and that's how she even got the role of Celie on The Color Purple. Probably one of the most impactful things that to this day is Whoopi Goldberg's stand-up comic special, her one-woman show, where I will never forget when she did the whole skit with the sheet on her head, pretending to be a white girl with long flowing blonde hair. Like, I'm just not sure what Monique is speaking of, but I digress.
Allegedly breaks down all the physical wins and nominations that Monique, Whoopi Goldberg, Chris Rock, Kevin Hart, Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy, and Amy Schumer have. Here's the thing. What happens is, and I'm really going to explain to you guys how this happens. When a person is nominated for a prestigious film award, like an Academy Award, like if you're in a film like Jennifer Hudson was with Dreamgirls or Monique was with Precious, in addition to you being nominated and maybe winning in at all the major televised award shows, the Golden Globes, the People's Choice Award.
I'm sorry. Star, I think that's an age thing. For you to say that most people know Whoopi Goldberg because of Sister Act, that's an age thing. Because that's not what most people know Whoopi Goldberg for. Whoopi Goldberg's career is so wide and spread so wide and has done so many things. I think it's unfair to limit her to Sister Act. Like I just told you what I remember Whoopi Goldberg as and how I remember Whoopi Goldberg. I'm sorry. I can't reduce Whoopi Goldberg to Sister Act. But even if we were to reduce Whoopi Goldberg to Sister Act, it doesn't change the fact that she's a stand-up comedian. It doesn't change the fact.
The SAG Awards, the Academy Awards, the Independent Spirit Awards, all of those awards where, we've watched the red carpet to see how the people are dressed and all that stuff. A lot of little small film critic associations across the country also may give you an award. So you might be the best actress from Biloxi, Mississippi, or Mutlick, Kentucky, or I Talk Like a Slave, Louisiana. Like you might be the best winner for film organizations also in those particular cities. So you might get a lot of these little individual, like from like little small towns, you know. But just because you have a lot of physical numbers of awards from small organizations and stuff does not mean you're the most decorated. The most decorated means you have the most prestigious awards of them all. And in the entertainment industry, to be most decorated, you have to have the EGOT. That is the pinnacle of award show success. Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony. Now, Monique said, as you guys heard me read and showed you the paper from the printout, that Whoopi isn't a comic, though she won a Grammy for Best Comedy Album. It shows you the alternate universe that Monique lives in. But she thinks she's most decorated because she has a lot of awards for one role, Precious. Now, Monique has won 4 NAACP Image Awards for comedy on The Parkers. But all the rest of her awards are for a dramatic role where she threw a TV down the stairs at her daughter in Precious. And I'm going to be honest with you. Based on the phone calls that I've been getting since she picked the fight with me last week, I'm starting to believe she was not acting in Precious. I'm starting to think that this is who she really was, that maybe she should have won a role for women depicting best documentary presentation. Because, hello, the stories that I've been getting, and I'm not even going to share them, but let's just say this woman has been awful to people. But oh, by the way, I'm going to share something with you in a minute. Hold on a little while longer. So, took care of that on Instagram. She went away. On Tuesday, she shows up on my Twitter page.
I want y'all to hear about the Netflix thing and the Will Packer. I'm not going to play it all the way through, so I'm going to skip in a second. But I did want to get the Monique, the Whoopi stuff. I might skip it, but she also says that she was the first Black woman to have a nighttime television show, and that's also not true. Guess who was the first Black woman to have her own nighttime talk show? It was Whoopi Goldberg. So I don't know why she wants to take away Whoopi's accomplishments, but anyway. And Della Reese was actually the first Black woman to have a reoccurring role on nighttime television. She used to sit in on the Johnny Carson show back in the day from time to time. But I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because I want y'all to hear the Netflix stuff, and I'm going to read y'all a rebuttal. And then we're going to get to the Will Packer.
So the reason why those 9 words are draped around barbershop is because this is a bootleg version soon. And she has the emoji with the eye open and the mouth, tongue hanging out. So I wrote back, Monique, I wish you would call me your sweet brother instead of making belittling references to me during your radio interviews. You enjoy the touring play. I'll enjoy working in Hollywood. If you stop mentioning me, I'll stop fact-checking your untruths. Go with God. She writes back, well, my brother, keep checking. When I say most decorated, I don't say with arrogance. Now, mind you, I'm just reading what she wrote. I don't say with arrogance because it's true. But you already know that. Stay tuned. I think she meant stay tuned. So I wrote back, Monique, I honestly don't know why you say a lot of the things. To her is, most people buy a new puppy when they want attention. And the talk. Now, she's online begging Cheryl Underwood to put her on the talk, but she was disrespectful to Julie Chen, who's married to the chairman of CBS when she was on Sway in the Morning. Do you think you'll ever work in CBS talking about Julie Chen? So, CBS. TV Land. I had a friend who had a meeting at TV Land, and the president of the network said that they were going to take a meeting with Monique, and then heard of her reputation and canceled it. Netflix, and lastly, Universal Pictures. Universal Pictures is where she did Almost Christmas. Well, why wouldn't Universal Pictures want to work with her? Almost Christmas came out. Monique appeared to promote it. She seemed to do a good job. Yeah, I thought so too. Till I got this email forwarded to me by somebody, and it's Will Packer addressing that husband of hers with some of the things
Now he's getting ready to read an email from Will Packer. Remember what Monique said about her issues with Almost Christmas, that Will Packer was rude to the help, that the trailers blew up, which she did show the pictures of the blowing up trailers. Now, Will Packer, I'm not understanding. I'm not understanding Will Packer. I don't know why the trailers blew up. Now, that's a problem, sir. And she said that he was rude to David E. Talbert, who was the director, and she stepped in and basically told him that he wasn't the director and he should be disrespecting the director. So I'm going to let you hear the email that Will Packer wrote, and then we'll get to. Yeah, now Julie Chen's husband ended up losing his position at CBS, but at the time he was the head of the network. Now, he wasn't a nice guy. Let's be clear. He wasn't a nice guy, but she didn't disrespect Lee Moonves. Allegedly, she disrespected Julie Chen. Okay. So I'll let y'all hear that.
That Monique was doing behind the scenes. So let me share with you some of the things that happened behind the scenes at Almost Christmas so that you understand why Monique is unemployable in this business. And mind you, there's so many stories I could tell as I sit here in front of all of my awards, like her and Sydney stood there in front of all of their awards. I got my award from DECA Marketing. I got my Fake Academy Award. I'm here with my awards tonight too, since awards are the theme of why we're having this dialogue. But let me find a place in the that I can read without let's see here. So at one point in the email that was forwarded to me by someone else, Will Packer says, myself, my team, and Universal staff have gone out of their collective ways to bend over backwards to make Monique feel comfortable and respected during every step of this process. You have rejected reasonable attempts at positive and proactive communication. Monique is an immensely talented actress who deserves better representation than that. Even all of Hollywood is telling her that husband of yours is going to ruin everything. And to think that you have.
Remember, that's what she said. Whoopi told her her problem was her husband.
Have directed your vitriol as someone who was an advocate when it was time to cast this film, even though I was warned by numerous people around the industry about hiring Monique, primarily because of the transactional cost of dealing with you. So, translation. What Will Packer is saying here is everybody in this business told me it was a bad idea to hire you. I hired your wife despite the fact that people told me not to. And now that I'm in the thick of things with you, I realize you're the reason that nobody wants to hire her. He continues, I push for her. Your reputation precedes you, and I still advocated wholeheartedly to have Monique involved in this production. I said I will not allow what others are saying about my sister to keep me from giving an opportunity to a tremendous talent. And now here you are being true to past form, attempting to swindle additional money from a production studio producer. Oh, well, what do you mean swindle money? Well, apparently at multiple times while shooting this movie, that husband of hers went to the studio to try to shake them down to get more money from Monique for various ancillary things and complaints. Hold on, there's a race issue in here that I want to deal with. And I read, I understand you have brought up issues with production. Let's spend a little moment there. Your accusations are unfounded. You took major issue and exception to the number of white people on the crew, despite the fact that I pointed out how extremely diverse our film crew was and that we had an overwhelming majority of Black department heads. Pause. So apparently there's reverse racism going on here. Apparently Monique and that husband have a problem with white people and kept complaining about white people being employed on this movie. And I read, you and Monique treated many of the various hourly employees on our crew horribly. Now, mind you, this is Will Packer, the executive producer of Almost Christmas, sending this email directly to that husband of Monique's. You and Monique treated many of our various hourly employees horribly.
Child, the way he keep calling that man that husband of Monique's. So it's interesting that Will Packer is accusing Monique of doing the exact same thing that Monique is accusing him of doing, child. Lord have mercy.
It got so bad that I needed to remind both of you that you should direct your irritation and angst not to the PAs, EPK videographers, and assistants, but to me. Thus, the HNIC comment was born when I felt the need to let you know where the buck stopped. So apparently, Will Packer stepped to them after they kept harassing and treating the aforementioned employees terribly, and he went to them and said, if you got problems on this set, you come to me. We all laughed about it and agreed to move forward in the spirit of positivity. And then something changed. You smelled an opportunity. Your subsequent faux outrage around that phrase, even going so far to spell out N-word and forward it around in an attempt to make it seem more egregious, is disingenuous, especially coming from one of the funniest and foulest mouth comedians of her generation, who has even referred to me as the N-word. But even still, once you expressed that you took issue with the phrasing, I apologized immediately. We should have moved on, but that would have not have helped your gender.
So it sounds like Will Packer pulled a Joe Clark and told Monique that he was the head nigga in charge, and Monique took offense to him, using that term. She, sounds like they had a little something. I'm not gonna say it was all Monique. It sounds like Monique and Will and her husband had a little something, and in that little something, he pulled rank and he said, "Listen, I don't know who you think you are, but I'm an HNIC in this piece." And then Monique got mad because he used the word igga, even though she's called him an igga, but he said he apologized. Okay. We're going to listen to a little bit more, and then we're going to move on.
I'm trying to get additional money any way you could. So because the executive producer said that I'm the HNIC on this movie, that husband of Monique's went to the studio, filed complaints about him, and asked for more money because of it. Sounds like Hollywood extortion to me. And how is the man married to a woman who is on her personal Periscope podcast saying she wished she could call me and the rest of these people MFers, mad about him using the HNIC acronym to describe himself? Like, really?
All right, so I'm going to stop it right there. If you want to see the whole thing, you guys can go look at it. The other thing he says, and I'm just going to tell you what he says, and I'm going to read you some of the responses. The other thing he alleges is that Monique is not being truthful about the Netflix offer. Now, what he alleges is that Netflix originally offered Monique $3 million, but told her she needed to audition. Monique said, "I'm not auditioning." So Netflix said, "Well, if you choose to not audition, then we're going to offer you this amount of money," which is the $500,000 that she told everybody that they offered her. Now, I'm going to read you what Monique said about that, because Monique said that that's not true. And again, I want to be fair and let you guys know all the stuff that I found. So I want to read to you guys where Monique said that is not true. Child, my thing moving slow. Sorry. Okay, here it is right here. Monique responds to journalist Juan Murray's rumor about her being offered $3 million for Netflix special. So this is coming from a blogger at Ashley Tierra who posted, if you thought that Monique was done speaking her piece on her ongoing conflict with Netflix, well, you thought wrong. For those of you who don't know, I'm not going to go through all that, child. Allegedly, Monique was offered $500,000 to do the comedy special, while others like Amy Schumer, Chris Rock, and Dave Chappelle had $1 million deals on the table. As a result, Monique took to her Instagram to ask everyone to stand with her and boycott the streaming network for the disparity in pay. Now, nearly 2 weeks later, the situation still remains a prominent topic. Recent entertainment journalist Juwan Murray claimed that Netflix was actually willing to hand Monique $3 million for the special, but first she had to audition. And according to Murray, Monique refused. However, during their recent interview from the Tom Joyner Morning Show, Monique's husband, Sidney, spoke out against the allegation. Sidney says, no one would promise you what they're going to give you based upon the condition of what you've done. No one would promise you what they're going to give you based upon the condition of what you've done. I would be interested to know how Juwan Murray knows a deal better than we do. We were the only 4 people in that conversation with Netflix. So to answer your question, it's a no. Subsequently, the Almost Christmas actress proved her case even more and exposed email receipts from a Netflix rep that included information of the fee that she initially said she was offered, as well as the terms and conditions of what would come with doing the project. In the caption of the photo posted to Instagram, Monique writes, Netflix offer, Juwan Murray, is this a $3 million offer? Aside from the designated compensation, the stipulations noted that if she agreed to sign the deal, Monique would be prohibited from taping or negotiating with third parties for 1 year, and the material used in the comedy special would not be able to be performed in any other recording program for up to 2 years. I think that's standard. I don't know if Pam is still here or not, but I feel like that's standard. If you go on Netflix and you do a stand-up special, I think it's standard that you can't go to another network and record the same damn show. That makes sense to me. Okay. But I want y'all to hear something. Because here's the thing. You can post the contract. You can post emails. But again, that doesn't mean it's the whole email chain. I don't know. I wasn't there. But I want y'all to hear something. Now, these are Monique's own words. This is what Monique said on Club Shay Shay. These are her own words. I got to the timestamp, so I want y'all to hear what she's saying.
Yeah. And the moment, in my opinion, the moment she auditioned, they knew we got him.
I'm gonna go back because she's talking about Taraji.
Then you audition. As a people, like we get better. Do you know why things were able to happen like they happened on The Color Purple?
Oh, you talk about the reboot. You talk about what?
I'm talking about the 7th one. The one that just came out.
Right.
Right. Isn't that the 7th edition?
It's like the musical with Fantasia and Taraji, right?
Right, okay, right. That one with all our beautiful sisters.
Yeah.
You know why they're able to treat us like they treat us? How are you handpicked and you audition?
No, if you handpicked, you don't audition.
I want you to say that again, Shannon, because people don't understand how deep this goes. When I watched my sister say it was an honor to be handpicked,
right?
Then why ever would you audition?
Yeah.
And the moment, in my opinion, the moment she auditioned, they knew we got them. We can treat them any kind of way we want to treat them. We can do them any kind of way.
But why would you want to?
Why?
Just because you can, that doesn't mean you should.
Now, that does not prove that Monique, that the audition rumor about Netflix is true. It doesn't. But it does put into context how Monique feels about auditioning for a role once you've hit a certain level of your career. But let's be clear. People audition all the time. Spike Lee makes everybody audition for his movies, which means that Denzel Washington has auditioned. Samuel L. Jackson has auditioned, and anybody else who has been in a Spike Lee movie has auditioned. He makes all of them audition. And they've spoken about that. But again, that doesn't mean that it's true. But I just thought it was interesting that this is how she feels about the audition process. Doesn't mean that it happened with the next situation. All right, I have one last thing, and then I'm going to drop the line. I want to thank you guys for being here and rocking with me. I told y'all this was going to be a long one because there was a lot that I wanted to share with you guys. And again, and I agree with what Phil said. I'm not saying Monique is all wrong. I'm just saying Monique ain't all right. So here's another article I found with Monique, where Niecy Nash says she don't audition. Okay, well. Okay, so here's another article that I found where Monique again is responding. She said Monique drops video interviews to dispel rumors she's difficult to work with. So this again is in response to her back and forth with Juan Murray. Over the last month, Monique has been accused of having less than stellar on-set behavior. Journalist Juan Murray exposed Monique's alleged conduct by reading emails from Will Packer and Roland Martin tore into her over her behavior during a 2011 photo shoot. Most recently, Gary Owen slammed her for taking aim at Will Packer and pointed to her as the issue. So now Monique is trying to clear her name. I'm going to go back to that photo shoot in a second. There was a ebony photo shoot with her, Steve Harvey, and Chris Rock on the cover, and Roland Martin made some comments about that photo shoot, and I'm going to get to that in a second. Monique says, produce the folks that have a problem with me. It's the bullies I have a problem with, not my folks. Love y'all for real. Now, Monique loves that word because she used bullies all through her interview with Club Shay Shay. Monique wrote, be unapologetic about defending yourself. Here lately, the word is how difficult and how rude I treat people. Will Packer, Juan Murray, Roland Martin. Oh, let's not forget Gary Owen are speaking about my character and that I'm rude and nasty to people. She added that Packer had claimed she was so nasty and mean to hourly employees on the set of Almost Christmas. He would try to pull the Almost Christmas. So knowingly he would try to pull this, she interviewed 20 people about her behavior. When you see the proof, then what do? She concluded. They keep coming with rumors and we keep coming with receipts. Then the three behind-the-scene personnel were asked about their experience with Monique. They remarked on her humbleness, affection, and humor. It's just really a joy and an honor to be in her presence, a woman says. In a few words, she's a person you always look forward to seeing when you come to the set. A man added. Another man said that Monique is always hugging everybody and always making people laugh. None of the men have publicly responded to the post, and Murray has stated earlier this month that he has made his last remarks on the matter. So she basically went out and interviewed people from the set and asked them if she was a nasty person, and she found over 20 people to say, no, girl, you're not nasty. That's what it sounds like, Chad. So here's the Roland Martin. Now, her and Roland Martin got into a back and forth chat. For those who don't know who Roland Martin is, he's a correspondent, political correspondent. He has his own show now, but he's been on CNN and he had on TV One. But he has like a YouTube show now. He does his own show on YouTube. So him and Monique got into a back and forth. So let me read you guys this, and then I think that is the last thing, child. Hold on. I can close this. I'm trying to close the tabs as I go through the stuff so that I know what I can close and get rid of on my screen. I had so many damn tabs open, child. All right, here's this article. Okay. Roland, now this is from the Atlanta Black Star. Roland Martin gets the last word in Twitter war with Monique. Another year means another Twitter spat for Roland Martin. This time, however, Monique is in his crosshairs. Things kicked off Friday, January the 26th, after the comedian questioned Martin's stand-up for the equality among Black men and women. Brother Roland, please listen. We're getting ready to do press, she said, following her rounds, making the case for why Netflix should pay her more than $500 million for her comedy special. I appreciate your fight. However, where is your fight for equality when it comes to your sisters? Let's talk, brother. Roland Martin responded with the following. Monique, the fact that you're even asking the question about what I have done to fight for equality and sisters shows you don't know. I don't talk about it. I do it. I have done it my whole career. I don't need to talk. I put in the work. After listing proof of his work for the fight for equality, Martin continued by asking Monique to address the email from Will Packer to your husband, Sidney. He said that is damning. I spoke of how you mistreated the crew. It spoke of how you mistreated the crew, men and women. Either you did or you didn't. Speak to that. Martin further said he doesn't waste time on tit for tats, but proceeded to recall a 2011 Ebony magazine cover featuring Monique, Chris Rock, and Steve Harvey, which he said was a horror because of her. He says, so here's my final point. Monique, you are 100% right about Black women, Black men, and other people of color getting paid top dollar. But how we treat others impact how we get paid. Now ask yourself, is that you or every other major Black Hollywood player that's the problem? Is it you and your husband, or is it Lee Daniels, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Will Packer, David E. Talbot, and others the problem? He said in a follow-up tweet referencing her public bashing on the entertainment moguls last year, your talent is immense, but the life ain't just about who has talent. It's about how we treat everyone else. So that's equality. So when I saw that, I said, I don't know nothing about no photo shoot. What are they talking about with a photo shoot? So I proceeded to do some digging. I told y'all I fell down the rabbit hole today, okay? And I found hold on, I want to make sure I get it right. Okay. I found some information on the photo shoot. So let me read you what I have. Okay. Hold on. Child, I got so much stuff open. Okay, here it is right here. Okay, here it is right here. So all I found, I wasn't able to find like a lot about the photo shoot, but what I did find was that, and I found it was an article written in Ebony the online version of Ebony magazine, which really only spoke to the fact that that Roland Martin, hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. I had this last thing and then I'm dropping a link. The only thing I found, and again, I'm showing you this stuff, y'all. I want nobody to be like, you making it up, and how do we know? I'm showing you what I found. And there might be more out there, you guys, but I literally I was falling down the rabbit hole. So this I found on Ebony, it's ebony.com. And again, it's talking about the article it's talking about Roland Martin versus Monique, but it gives a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit more context to what Roland Martin was talking about. So Roland Martin said, you really need to address And then it says here, Martin also accused Monique of ruining the cover photo shoot for Ebony's April 2011 issue, also featuring Steve Harvey and Chris Rock. He said, you're going to have to own up to your stuff too if you want others. That Ebony magazine cover with you, Chris Rock, and Steve Harvey, I conceived that issue, and I was told that photo shoot was a horror because of you. So when it was his, I guess it was his concept, which means that he would have some insider information on what happened at the photo shoot. I didn't find any specific details on what he did or did not do. I mean, what she did or did not do at the photo shoot, but it sounds like allegedly there was another rumor about her being difficult. Now, I'm going to drop the link. What time is it? All right, I'm going to give about 20 minutes. So come on up, you guys. If you are new here, you do not have to show your face on camera, but I do have to verify backstage that you are a real person. Okay? So feel free to come on up. Feel free to share what you want to say. Even if your opinion is different from mine, as long as we're respectful, I don't have a problem with it. We can respectfully disagree all day long. So by all means, come on up. Let me hear it. And like I said, we could talk for a few minutes. Casey Johnson, I said the same thing. Casey Johnson said, mark my words, her and Cat will fall out. Well, what I find interesting is that Flame Monroe has also been added to some dates on that tour with Cat Williams. So, I mean, Monique and Flame going to be on the same dates? That should be interesting. Oh, here they come, honey. Here they come. All right. I know y'all to be who y'all are, but I need y'all to show me who y'all are backstage. I know y'all by name. But I know y'all by name, but you know, okay, I see you, Phil. All right, Jane and Little Baby, I just need you to come up and show me who you are. And then, okay, Jane, I see you, boo. All right, Little Baby, I just see a black screen. Okay, all right, Little Baby, okay. All right, what y'all got to say, honey?
Good evening, Really B. That hair looking good to be down a rabbit hole now. You ain't got your hair done.
Thank you. Start. I
Oh,
just need to see who you are backstage, and then I'll bring you up, boo.
okay, so my quick opinion on Monique. Like I said in the chat, Monique is not wrong about everything. However, she is not right about everything as well. And I think we need to know the difference. I listened to Funky's video about the Monique and Shay Shay interview, and I actually did like the interview, but I agree with Funky. I want positivity from Monique. When I'm tired of hearing about Tyler Perry and Oprah. I'm tired. I'm tired. It's been 12 years. Was Oprah wrong? Hell yeah. I'm going to be on Oprah about her bringing her family on that show. Oprah was dead wrong. But Monique, you have to move forward. You're stuck in a place and you have to move forward. I just feel like she needs to move forward is all. And, you know, people was talking about, you know, her not being contractually obligated to promote the film at the Cannes Film Festival. I think when the network, Lionsgate and Tyler and Oprah was asking her to promote the film at the Cannes Film Festival, it's because they saw the opportunity that the Cannes Film Festival could bring to her as an actress and also to the movie. Because the Cannes Film Festival is a premier event. Was it out of her contract? Yes. But in the long run of things, when you are an artist musically or an actress, you have to promote the film. You have to. And I mean, I wish they could have came to some type of understanding. I just want her to move on in the end run. Please, we got to move on.
I know that's right. Citizen Jane. Now, Jane, I love you, boo. I'm going to need you to keep it because I got people waiting.
Okay. The only thing I wanted to say was that the point I brought out to you in another comment section was Monique wasn't blackballed. She did Blackbird in 2014. She did Bessie in 2015. And the only question I have is why, if she did Bessie and she received some critical acclaim for that role, in fact, it's one of my favorite roles of hers, she hasn't worked with Flavor Unit since 2015. She has no credits with Flavor Unit. She has nothing going with the Equalizer. Might be because she can't get a relationship going with CBS because there's some bad blood there. I think that, I don't know if it's Sydney. I don't know if it's her. I don't know if it's the combination of the two of them. But at this stage of the game, she's largely become an unreliable narrator because she only tells half truths and she keeps repeating the same stories over and over again. She gets everyone upset. It's like watching a kid have a tantrum until they get their way. And I think that part of the reason she does this is because if it is cheaper and more lucrative, I guess is a better word, to sue your way to money than to actually produce work. Because people forget, after the Netflix thing, she got a hosting gig over at Showtime, which flopped too. It was horrible. And part of the reason Netflix probably wanted her to audition was because they were like, look, we've seen your work. We don't want you to come up here and do the Oprah, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels bit again. What else you got? If you tell me you got new material, and I said, okay, we'll give you the $3 million if we see some new material. I don't know, maybe they call that an audition, but I think that's a reasonable request.
Listen, I'm gonna let everybody speak because I feel like I've been talking for 2 hours. Nitwit, I keep wanting to say Nitwit, Monique did work with 50 Cent. She was on the last season of BMF. So Nitwit said, why did Monique take 50 Cent up on his offer to work with him? She did. She was on the last season of BMF. Okay, I think Star was next, and then Lil Baby. No, Lil Baby was next, then Star, then Xavier.
Okay, so I might be going in and out.
Okay.
But I'm gonna try to be real quick. Thank you for giving a more well-rounded perspective of this. I've been following this and I've seen a lot of this information. I'm not saying that any of these people are clean. I'm not saying that any of these people are cute, cuddly bunnies and butterflies and rainbows shoot out of their asses. I'm not saying anything like that. But what I am saying is Monique's hands ain't clean in none of this either. Her wanting to posture herself as some sort of martyr sickens me. Her wanting to be like Plymouth Rock landed on me and everything has been downhill from here. It's a complete lie. She has blame in this. And from jump, Lee Daniels told her nobody likes her husband. Nobody. And you have to ask how great of a manager he is when his wife has to give him a job. What other millionaire, box office number record setting actor or actress is he managing? If he's so fantastic with his job, that should tell you right there. The proof is in the pudding.
Okay, girl. You was just passionate. Hey, Star. Come on. Hey, boo. Now,
Hey.
Like I'm
Oh, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, little baby.
it gets,
No, I'm sorry, little baby. I thought you was done. I'm sorry, baby.
no, but I have to agree with Dineva. Like I'm tired of hearing the same story. What else is going on? What else is going on? Outside of you.
Oh, I think we lost her. She said she was going out. I think we're losing you. I'm gonna let you come back up, little baby. Go ahead, Star. I'm gonna let her come back up.
Hey, Really B, thank you for letting me come up. I'm going to have an unpopular opinion, which
It's
is
all right.
okay. So, even going back to what the young lady was just saying just now, oh, I'm so tired of hearing Monique's story, da 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 da. The internet windmills all the time. Now, if Monique would have changed her story, we'll have something to say about that. If Monique's husband was nowhere to be found, we'll be saying something about that. It's just like, I just don't get it. I feel like we go up for those who say the same stuff as her, but because it's Monique, we gonna have a difference. We gonna, go the other way. Now, if I were Monique, I would be doing the same thing, just being honest. First off, like I said in the comments, it's not like Monique about to get offered a role to be somebody's love interest because let's be honest, because she is a darker skinned black woman and because she is a heavier set black woman. That's just what it is. So because y'all always want to put me in these roles that are going to be unfavorable, y'all gonna pay me. Period. That's my opinion. And even when you say really be, well, don't y'all do stuff for, jobs where you don't get paid? Yeah, and we've been doing it for way too long. That is the part of the problem of what she's been saying. They've been doing it for too long. But when Taraji was up here crying, what was people saying? Why is there a difference of the two? I really want to know.
You asking me what my opinion is?
Yeah,
Or
like
you
between her and Taraji for the pay part of it.
Okay, so number one. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Head Ursha, for the cash app, boo. Thank you, my love. So number one, for me, and I'm only speaking for me, the difference is number one, Taraji wasn't asking anybody to do anything. She was telling her story. Number two, Monique, for me, again, it's not always what you say, it's how you say it. And Monique, first of all, was asking us to do something. She want us to boycott Netflix because she has a contract dispute with Netflix. And then again, for me, because I follow these things and because I was already knowledgeable of a lot of these things, for me, I already was looking at Monique's side eye because I'm like, but Monique, da 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 da. So I understand. And here's the thing for me, and that's why I say I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. I'm not saying that people should work for free. I'm not saying that.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is, in life, there is quid pro quo, and if you want to move up, listen, I didn't make the system. But if you want to move up and you want to be successful and you want to do different things, there are things that are part of the industry that you are a part of. And I gave the example of me being a teacher the other day. There are things that are expected. And again, you don't have to play the game. You don't. Nobody is saying you have to. Monique had every right to say, I'm not going to Cannes. I'm not going. It wasn't in the budget. Nobody's paying me. And I'm going to stay here. She had every right to do that. But here's what I think people don't understand. There are consequences to those decisions. And that's the part that I think a lot of people don't want to accept, that there are consequences. It doesn't mean that Tyler Perry got on the phone and called everybody he knew and said, don't work with Monique ever again. But it's the expectation in the industry that you are in. So when you don't do what is expected in the industry that you are in, then there are consequences for those decisions. If I have aspirations to be a principal, but I only go to work when it's time to be at work and I leave when it's time to get off work, and I don't do anything extra and I don't volunteer for anything and I never go above and beyond, do you think I'm ever going to be considered for a promotion?
But listen, I hear you, but we know that that's not how it is across the board. And I think that is a part of her point. This is not the way that everybody doesn't have to do extra and be extra. We know that for sure. These white actors and actresses, they don't have to go above and beyond. And I don't think that all of them have to go audition.
we heard the number one box office, not among Black actors, but among Hollywood. We heard Will Smith say
Oh,
that is
really?
part of the job. You heard Will Smith say that.
But we also heard that we'll have to do things, right? Now we got to be fair. We was just talking about this maybe 2 weeks ago, where some of these people have to do things. Hint, SA. Hint, be looked at, be touched on. Go sit on the couch. Hold on.
That's
But
never
hold on.
been
What I'm
connected
saying
with
is,
Will Smith. That's
we
never been connected with Will Smith.
has
That
it
has
has
nothing to do with what we talking about.
but it do. If you're saying, like you just said, really, be just hear me out. You just
Okay,
said,
I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna hear you out. I'm gonna hear you out. I'm gonna shut up.
you just said we all know in that industry you may have to do certain things. That's what you just said, right? There have been stories that have, because I mean, certain, maybe you haven't, but other content creators have recently said, hey, when you sit on that couch and you go audition, you may have to do certain things to get this role. Will Smith's name has been attached to just that. So
The casting stuff is a real
I
thing.
truly believe, in my opinion, if Monique would bow down to every little thing that she's been asked of, then we wouldn't be hearing these stories. But because she
So,
is different,
so we're
from most.
but we're conflating things. You're talking about stuff that's illegal, stuff that's immoral, stuff that is criminal versus something that is just expected as part of your job in the entertainment industry. That's two. We're conflating. That's two totally different things.
Ask the speaker a question, please.
I don't think we are, because I think, let me just say this, and I'm gonna because I don't want to take up too much time.
No, no problem.
I get what you're saying, really, B. But once you start to do things that are illegal, you're gonna be doing everything else, in my opinion.
I just
That's
want
in my opinion. So I think once the big people
It's your opinion, baby.
once the big people see that you're willing to do that, then you're gonna be willing to do everything else. And that's generally how it goes, even in corporate America. If I got you over here knowing that I can get you to do this, then you're gonna do that. And I feel it's no different in that industry. We've all heard the stories.
let me ask you a question. I
Okay.
really ask this. What do you think the story would be if they didn't invite her? If they said, cool, don't come. What do you think the story would be then? She would be on camera hollering that she didn't get invited to the most prestigious event to promote this film.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think that?
I think she's only being asked to be paid to do it. Period.
No
I
one,
don't
but that's my point. No one gets paid.
I don't think that's true either.
No, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon said when they did Good Will Hunting, they were ready to sell that script for pizza and beer money. No one, because let me explain it to you. Independent projects are usually in the red by the time they are distributed. There is no money. Lionsgate was willing to give her, for a wide variety of accounting reasons, was willing to give her every accommodation to continue to promote the film at Cannes, but would not cut her a check. Nobody gets a check for promoting a film. They may get points or an executive producer credit, but they do not get a check to go. It doesn't happen because of the way films are financed. Now I'm tapping out.
Well, listen, I'm here to say if that has not been done, it should be. Because I'm telling you, even in my industry, I'm in the pharmaceutical space. What I see top execs being paid, and they don't do half as much as the work as I do. People need to be paid. We can argue all day about what hasn't been done and who doesn't get paid. They should be. Because when you even, let's say, okay, it's a vacation, you still are away for a time period where you could be doing something else. Didn't Taraji say that too? If I'm filming for 6 months, right? That's 6 months of my time. So if I'm over in Kansas to promote this for y'all, that's still my time. I'm still away from my family. I'm still away from other obligations that I have. I think people miss that. And that's
I'm
just
not
all I'm
missing
gonna
it.
say.
We just have a difference of opinion. I'm not missing it. Wait a minute, hold on. I'm not missing it. And Star, listen, it's okay to have it's okay. I don't, because people in the chat are saying it's okay to have a difference of opinion. Let her have her opinion. I'm not. We're not arguing. Star's been on my platform more than this is not her first time up here, and we don't always agree. And I hope you don't feel that way.
No. I'm not arguing. I just think that when it comes to certain people, though, we hear these same stories, but depending on who it is, the people feel a totally different way. But I feel like unconsciously, and y'all gonna hate me for this, but I feel like unconsciously, because of how Monique looks, her appearance, the fact that she's bigger, the fact that she's darker, people just not gonna be with it. That's just really how I feel. Because if this was Halle Berry, I don't think people would be saying this.
Can I make a quick comment?
Wait a minute, hold on, because there's people up here that haven't spoken yet. So is Xavier still up here? He was next.
I'm still here.
Okay, go ahead, Xavier. You were next, and then Lil Baby came back, and then El Teddy. I think that's the order. I want to make sure I'm right. But go ahead, Xavier. I know you were next.
So I just have two things I want to say. I do agree with Monique and Star a bit on the paying actors and actresses more for promoting films. I believe that there's a lot of unpaid work in Hollywood. I've seen a lot of people complain about the unpaid work in Hollywood. The last strikes was about unpaid work in Hollywood, about writers having to do constant rewrites and not getting paid for them, about actors having to take time off and promote films and not getting paid for them. And though that is the standard of not being paid to promote your films, I think that should change, especially when we're looking in a post-pandemic world where last year was one of the most horrible box office years in recent history because of the strikes, because actors couldn't promote their films. So apparently it's very integral to the money making of this business. So I think that should be reflected in their paychecks. But okay. I do think Monique is not the right person to lead this movement. And the main reason is that Monique is self-centered to an extent that is almost disgusting. Monique, it's very, very weird that you have such a high opinion of yourself that you don't think that you need to audition for movies. Are you fucking crazy, Monique? I'm sorry. She's let's be clear. Monique is a great actress, but she's a great actress in roles that she's not typically associated with. I.e., Precious was out of the box for her because she's a comedian, so nobody would expect her to be prominent in a dramatic role. She's not auditioning for these comedic roles. She's auditioning to be in these big full-length dramas. She's trying to be what Viola Davis is, but you have a track history of being Monique, being a comedian and being funny and making people laugh. So that's going to, again, differentiate on what you can ask for in regards to pricing. Also, her need to center every sort of beef with everybody as some sort of systemic issue is inane. You and Oprah have beef. Oprah didn't blackball you. You're not suffering from oppression because Oprah got a role over than you. That's just the business. Do you know how many roles people get picked over in Hollywood daily? If you had a beef with everybody who got picked over you, Monique, you'll be fighting for eternity. And it seems like that's what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life. Monique needs to stop. If she wants to talk about being unfair, about things being unfair in Hollywood, that's okay. But you also have to be realistic about what you're bringing to the table, who you're dealing with, and where you want to go with your career, Monique. Because I'll just bring this up. She has a movie coming out on Netflix with Lee Daniels, Andre Day. It's a horror movie. I don't think nobody's even talking about that. And I think that's a damn shame. She's not even promoting her movie herself.
I didn't know. I didn't know nothing about it till you just said till just now. I didn't know.
See, why am I promoting your movie more than you, Monique? What is going on? I think she really needs to change her attitude if she wants to continue. And I'm not saying she's wrong about everything, but in regards to what you're going to do for yourself, you have to do more and get rid of that husband. You're going to be the next Mary J. Blige, working forever because your husband running up with your money with some young bitch. You already got an open marriage.
Ooh, well now.
We see what Tiana and Iman with open marriages lead. Nowhere.
Waste Beast said that movie's already been out. Are you talking about a different movie? Because I know they came out with a movie.
That's a different movie. This one is the movie with Andre Day. This is a different movie.
This is a different movie. Okay, so Waste Beast with Bree by Bree. It's a different movie, boo. All right, El Teddy, what up, baby?
Hey sis, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I've been having real issues with my internet today. A couple things.
Probably because go ahead.
Shut up. A couple things. Okay, I think and this is gonna come out harsh. I just oh well. I think people are removing the fact that she's admitted and it's documented that there are some things going on intellectually with Monique, and I'm not trying to insult her intelligence, but we know there is some accommodations that need to be made. And you see that even in the interview with Shannon Sharp, she contradicts everything that she says in that interview. I wonder if that husband was in that class with her that she was in, but I don't know. Anyway, here's one. I'm just saying. Here's one thing where one of the problem is. If you remember, she said in the interview, she went to Hollywood and within 90 days, she had a show. She didn't have to go do, auditions and all of that other stuff. So she's been very adamant about being put on. What that means is she was never fully equipped to deal with what it takes to truly go through getting a role, understanding what it means to truly be an actor or actress in Hollywood, because having to go get it out of the dirt, grind, go to auditions, be told no, that is how that works, and that's how every job works. And she has this notion in her head that it's going to be like she was when she first came, and every door is going to magically be open and everybody always has to say no. And I think her not having to go through that experience did her a disservice, because now she has this inflated sense of expectations, and that's just not what it is, sweetheart. Let's just be brutally honest. I'm gonna spend 30 seconds on the whole Precious situation. But all of these people talking about what she should and should not have been paid from Netflix, and oh, y'all need to pay her because she said she was going by the letter of the contract. Well, sweetheart, if you want to throw out letter of contract about Precious, Tyler Perry don't owe you a goddamn thing. And it's hypocritical for you to go to Tyler Perry and say, oh, well, I feel like y'all owe me money. Remember the audio you paid where her and the husband were over there to Tyler Perry, because the whole premise of that was she felt like, she was owed more or not enough was done for her. No, boo. What was done for you was the letter of the law. Remember, you didn't want to go do any promotions. Remember, you said, I'm going by my contract. It ain't in my contract, so I ain't got to do it. Well, sweetheart, none of that extra money, none of those extra recommendations, and none of any of that was in your contract. So all bets are off. Nobody owes you anything. And I really think that is her problem. Now, lastly, with the whole being difficult, she's admitted to being difficult. She admitted. She said everybody in Hollywood know how I am. They know I don't play those games. She admitted it wasn't until I got with my husband that he had to show me how to humble myself and not be a 15-year-old girl. She said that.
She said she was Baltimore to the bone.
Don't come over here and all of this Oprah Tyler. It sounds like you're just jealous that they're members of the 3 Comma Club and you're not. Ma'am, it's just not gonna happen for you like that, sweetheart. I mean, I'm telling you, and really be maybe you know more than I do. Do you really believe in your mind of mind and heart of hearts that a show on a network that is no longer with us made $2.3 billion? I just want to know. Maybe I just don't know good Hollywood numbers, and I might need to be schooled. I just want to know.
Well, I find it interesting. And again, it goes back to what people paid attention to. When she made the comment about the Parkers, when she said that the Parkers made however many billions of dollars, did y'all catch when she said, that's just my own estimation? She said that. So that's a number you pulled out your ass based on what?
And then let's be clear. You were paid
You doesn't even exist anymore.
But can I say something?
You was paid. Wait, let me finish this part. You were paid $1.2 million your last year. That's what you told us. You told us you did 22 episodes, getting paid $55,000 an episode, which equates to $1.2 million. You told us that. And so what I mean is, if you're on UP freaking N, a fledgling network on a niche, that was a very niche show. This was not a show on ABC, NBC, CBS, or Fox on prime time. This was on UPN. It was very niche. It didn't have a huge market. People from sea to shining sea wasn't going out there to go watch the Parkers like that, sweetheart. So what do you think you're owed?
No.
You got paid way more than you should have. And I'll be done. I'll be quiet.
Okay. Hold on real quick before I go to the next person. No, Waist Beads by Bree. She didn't say that she got paid $1 billion. She said that the Parkers made over $1 billion. That's what El Teddy's talking about. Not that. Little baby, are you back, boo? You here? You got a good signal now? And then Mo Media, and then I'll let everybody rebut, because I know a couple of people had some things they wanted to add. I'll let everybody rebut. Little baby.
Yeah, what I was going to say, and Xavier had touched on it about Monique being self-centered. Remember, not too long ago, she was running around saying that she was the first African-American woman, a Black woman, to get a comedy residency in Vegas. Remember when she was saying that?
I don't remember her saying that, but I know that's a damn lie, but go ahead.
Well, you're correct. It was. Marsha Warfield is actually the first one. And Marsha Warfield had been screaming to the top of her lungs. She was on her Twitter, etc., saying, no, ma'am, that's me, not you. I was the first one. Monique never corrected herself.
Well, just like she said she was the first Black woman to have a nighttime talk show, and that's not true. Whoopi Goldberg was the first Black woman to have a nighttime talk show. It didn't last long, but she had one. Like, you got to stop saying you did things that you did not do. But go ahead.
And yet that goes to the almost martyrdom, honestly, the arrogance, the self-centeredness, and the delusion. Like, I get what she is saying as far in terms of this of the Oscar. Okay, yeah, she should get better roles, and we've talked about that throughout how Black actors and actresses typically, when they win that Oscar, their career goes to poo. Halle Berry hasn't had a decent role since she won hers. But at the same time, it's like, Monique, how you moved in that entire process, you walking around here bragging how you not Hollywood, and basically you not politicking and playing the game. People saw that. People paid attention to that. You were very loud about it. And listen, nothing wrong. You don't want to get stuff shot in your face. You don't want to get plastic surgery. You don't want to color your hair. You don't want to shave. Okay, fine. That's cool. That's you. That makes you unique. I'm not gonna criticize you for that. Do what you want to do with your own body. But her trying to, it was like I'm martyring myself. And it's almost like she's mad that no one is paying her for that, but no one asked you to do that. But yeah.
All right. Thank you, Boo. Mo Media. Hey, Boo. What you got?
Hey y'all, hey really be.
Okay,
I
hey.
feel like I got an unpopular opinion. I feel like because I feel like
It's okay.
Monique fulfill her original deal. Like I feel like y'all was saying people are not paid for promo, but it's included in the original deal. Like it's all included in that deal. And what she's saying is she fulfilled the deal, but they sold it. When they made some more money, she wanted some more money. That's basically all it is. And she would have went if they paid. She talking about something. Oh, I wanted to spend time with my family, but if the check was there, you would have went. So I feel like she just her hands was out for that money. That's why she still wanted from Tyler Perry.
Right. So
And
based on what you just said, it goes back to what El Teddy said when he first came up here. You can't have it both ways. If you're
right,
saying I didn't go to Cannes because I fulfilled the obligation, my contract said I got paid $50,000 and I got my $50,000, then you can't want to change the rules now that Tyler Perry has signed on and you know he's a billionaire and say, oh, whoa, wait a minute.
right.
You owe me more money now because you sold the movie. Them selling the movie don't have nothing to do with your contract. I agree that it should have been written in her contract that there's a promo tour because again,
Or when the deal
they
was
don't
done,
get
a whole
paid to
new
do
contract.
promotion. I mean, they don't get paid to go. They do get a promo tour where it pays all of your expenses. You don't come out of your pocket. Now that could have been negotiated, and that's I don't argue that point at all.
Yeah, I agree with you guys, as it comes to play, because I do believe she has her hand out at this point. I do believe that, but I also feel like she's about, I don't know, 20% right, and she kind of trying to take that a little too far. Yes, they kind of did you dirty, but when you said no, I'm not gonna play the game, didn't take it for what it is, because also it's like you spitting in their face to folks who played the game and who actually do this. So of course nobody gonna wanna mess with you.
All right. Kim said that was in her contract that for her to do local promotion. Okay, so it covered the local promotion. It didn't cover it. Right. She didn't do international. Yeah. And again, I understand the points that people are making. I understand when is enough? When do we stand up for ourselves? And I get all of that. But I also understand too that contracts are contracts that are contracts. And if it's a very famous, what's the first Aunt Viv, it's a very famous line. She said, if I was supposed to kiss your ass, you should have put it in my contract when she was talking about Will Smith. And I feel the same way. It's like, it's you didn't get it in your contract, so now you can't come back later and be for the same reason they can't come back later and say, oh, well, you should do this. The same reason why you can't come back later and be like, oh, you sold the movie, now you owe me more money. No, the fuck we don't. It goes both ways. But I'm gonna give everybody a chance to rebut, and then I'm getting off of here. Child, it's been 2.5 hours, but I will give everybody. I told everybody I would give them a chance to rebut. So I know Phil was the first one that wanted to rebut, and then Xavier had something to say, and I think I'm not sure who the other person was, but I'll give everybody a chance to give final comments, and then we're going to shut it down. I want to thank everybody for being here. Please make sure you hit the like button and you subscribed, and I appreciate y'all. And again, Star comes on my platform all the time. Mo comes on my platform all the time. We can have a difference of opinion and have the conversation.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Paul. Go ahead, Phil. Well, Phil always disagree with me. Lord knows he do. Go ahead, Phil.
And it's all love. It's always all love. So a couple of quick things. Lil Baby touched on my first point. What she said, black actresses who win the Oscars, their career do go downhill. Halle Berry, Lupe Nyong'o, Octavia Spencer, Jennifer Hudson. When were their last Oscar nominated films? After they won. Second point, when we talk about Cannes, and it just came to me as we were having this conversation, Precious was not supposed to be that big of a movie.
Right.
It was no way for them to put international tour and travel in this independent film because Precious was not supposed to blow up like it did. It was the performances that they gave that gave Precious that push and that gave Precious that notoriety. So it was never supposed to be in the contract to have international travel. And then my last point is what I'm gonna say about Monique is that I think Monique is a great actress. And like we said before, and I think all of us have said it, Monique ain't wrong about everything. But what I think Monique is, what she needs to reframe her thinking is, if they're not giving you the opportunities, why don't you make your own opportunities? Why hasn't she made her own films? Why hasn't she produced films that she can star in and give other actors and actresses an opportunity? I feel like that's another route she can take. But if she's gonna sit here and wait for people to turn against Oprah and Tyler Perry because they wronged her, you can't expect everyone to jump in your fight. That's a your fight thing. Now, I ain't saying what they people have allegedly done is right or wrong, but that's your fight. If they not gonna let you in, create your own. Make a way or find a way. And I think that's what she's wasted. I think she's wasted these last 12 years hoping to get in somewhere when I think she should have made her own lane for herself.
Well, that's the one thing Citizen Jane said in her comment, which was very valid. When Monique compared herself to Melissa McCarthy, you always tell people to check the resume, and we can't just say, oh, because she's a heavy set white woman, she's getting all these roles and she's getting all this success, and I have the same resume. I came from a sitcom and I did this and I did that. But people are not taking into account that Melissa McCarthy, like going back to what El Teddy said, Melissa McCarthy was grinding before she was on Mike and Molly. Her and her husband, who a lot of people I don't think realize is an actor and a producer as well, they had their own production company and they created their own opportunities. They did comedy. They were doing Second City shows up in Chicago. Some of her early movies, like I said, they did themselves, and she wrote her own stuff and she put her own stuff out. She created her own project. So it's not the same, Monique. Again, you want to look at the outside and not break down everything behind it just because somebody's white and you're black and you think, well, the white woman who looks just like me is getting all of these opportunities. No, Melissa McCarthy is creating her opportunities. Now, did Melissa get a lot of? Absolutely, she got a lot of jobs off of the back of Mike and Molly. But check her resume and look at how much of her IDBM, IBDE, whatever it is, how much of that she executive produced herself or her husband executive produced. Right, she was on Gilmore Girls too. I forgot about that. So we can't, if we're going to compare resumes, we got to do it all the way across the board. And we got to look at the whole thing. Just like Shannon Sharp brought up to Monique about the whole Amy Schumer thing. Amy Schumer had just sold out back-to-back shows at Radio City Music Hall. You can't compare, when we talk about stand-up comedy, you can't compare the two. Has Monique ever even played Radio City Music Hall?
I just had one more comment, really be. When we talk about Monique and Taraji and Hughley, no matter their shape, their size, the texture of their hair, their skin color, they're all fighting for the same thing. And what I think that we should remember, and I'm hoping that's getting across, is that they all want to be treated fairly. I just think that I don't think we should go down, well, she's heavy or she's this or she's that. They're all being underpaid. They all are not being treated fairly. But I think it's the approach. I think Monique's approach, and I think, and I hate to, this is my last point, I promise. Monique her tone is very condescending. I don't trust everything she says because I don't trust that my sweet baby, and then behind it you say something nice, nasty. Just because you say something in a soft tone and you don't use profanity, it doesn't mean it's not nasty as well. But that's all I got.
Okay, babe. All right, Star, you were next, and then go
Oh,
ahead, Star.
I hate to. I need to rebuttal to him. Yes, he is right. They're all fighting for the same thing. But one thing that went over a lot of people's head that Monique said was the difference of how Taraji had to be broken down, crying for us to have an outpour of support for her. And you know what that goes back to? Slavery. They always need to see us marching, crying, in an uproar before any type of support is given. Monique has just always been vocal. We haven't seen her cry, have we? We haven't seen that, right? But when one of us cry, when we're seen as broken down, like she said, that's when, oh, let's stand up for her. And I think that went over a lot of people's heads.
It went
I
over
just
my head because I don't see the correlation. But go ahead, boo.
You don't see the correlation really
Not at all. No.
at all.
No.
That's interesting.
Mm-mm.
But I'll say this. The gentleman just said that we can't look at weight and all of that. I totally disagree respectfully. And I do get the points about like, well, these white women are heavy set and all of that. What we all know about that is that white, unfortunately, is gonna always have more opportunities. That's just what it is. People are saying that that lady was grinding, Monique was grinding too. Period. I just don't think for me,
Mm-hmm.
I just know that it's gonna always be a totally different ball game when it comes to white and when it comes to black. Period. Um. So
Can
to
I let
me,
me rebuttal that? Because you know it's folks even back in that time that was doing it. Grinding is grinding. The Wayans brothers was
right.
doing it, you know.
Uh-huh.
And the thing is, I feel like yes, Precious ain't have no budget. Like I put in the chat, Precious ain't have no budget, and it leaned on the talent to blow up. But on that same note, Monique should be able to do it again if even if she put an iPhone camera up, banking on
I
that
agree.
same talent, the way she be talking, she should be able to do the same thing and make her own opportunities the way. I feel like it's kind of crazy. I don't know. Now that I'm like just hearing it all, like she want Tyler Perry to pay her for the opportunities she lost when she could have made them, and she would have had to start from the bottom, which she not used to. But it takes that courage.
I agree with part of that. I think that at some point she has to move on, just like we seen Nene said it. And I'm really like I feel like people can tell their story because it's their story. It's
Right.
her hurt. It's whatever that she went through, right? But at a point, she does have to move on, and I feel like she could have made her own at this point. She could
Yeah.
have. There may
Well,
be other
Amy
things
Schumer
holding her
made.
back. We did hear, and one thing that I didn't really hear anybody bring up too, and this is why my opinion always be like different from everyone's. We sit and talk about like all these other people, right, and about their trauma and how their trauma is associated with how they are. This lady clearly told us that she went through all of these things. You know what I mean? Especially with her brother. And so I didn't hear not one person bringing that up and how that trauma could be associated with how she shows up in the world. She did say it herself. She was always on defense. And I think we can say what we want, but being a heavier set black woman, like first off, you're teased.
Well,
I'm pretty sure she was teased. Hold on, just give me a second. I'm pretty
I got
sure she was teased a lot in her childhood and her brother in combination with, oh, y'all only want me to play these big girl roles, like it's so many things that goes into that. So yes, I can see where she was always defensive because like she said, I'm not about to let anybody play with me. So I get that. And I really don't see how other people don't. And it's not to allow her to use it as a crutch, but if we're going to talk about other people, how their traumatic experiences have shaped them, I don't think it's fair to leave out how hers didn't.
Man, her own husband was tired of that, and that's why she loved him to death. So
I agree because you can't use it as a crutch forever. I
right,
agree with
and
that. But I'm just saying that it happened to her.
So I want to be clear because I just want to be clear in what you're saying. So you're saying that nobody tonight mentioned her trauma as to why maybe that's how she shows up in the world.
I didn't hear it.
So are we supposed to? I mean, I want to understand.
Mm-hmm.
So her trauma is an excuse for her bad behavior?
Nope, not saying that. I'm just saying that I did not hear anyone mention it. And
I didn't think it was
also,
I didn't think it was relevant. Lord, I couldn't get the word out. I didn't see where it was relevant to the conversation.
I think it was relevant because it was someone brought it up to where they said she said herself that she used to act that way. So she admitted, because people kept saying she has never taken
Right.
accountability.
Right.
She admitted herself that I was difficult because of all that I had went through. And what I'm
Right,
saying
but
is when we talked
here's my
about other
thing.
people.
Right.
Go
So
ahead.
here's my thing. And I hear what you're saying, Star. I hear what you're saying. So here's my thing. My point is, regardless of why you're doing the things that you're doing, you're admitting that you were difficult, which maybe, just maybe, might be part of the reason, not all, but might be part of the reason why you are in the situations that you found yourself in Hollywood. And that, I understand what you're saying, but here's the thing: just because my experiences have shaped me, that doesn't excuse them.
Absolutely not. But the point that I was making with that is that, I mean, is there any sympathy or empathy? Is there any room for that with Monique? Because we give it to everybody else.
Who do we give
I
it
mean,
to?
I ain't gonna even say we give it to everybody else. We give it to some, because I see the internet just be, depending on who it is, to me, in my opinion, depending on how you look, depending on a whole bunch of stuff, the internet be flip-flopping.
It's just,
So,
Monique, this got nothing to do with her traumas. This is something that she is or was dealing with herself. So her, being confrontational or going off on people was really going off on people for something that don't got nothing to do with them. And when you do this to so many people, it's going to catch up. So that's why
Can we
people
stop
call her
calling Monique dark skinned? Monique is not dark skinned.
what is she then? When you said that, I was like, really? Well, what is she?
Back in the
what
day,
is
it was
her
no
name?
brown skin. It was just dark and light.
Yeah, exactly.
Monique is light skinned by back then
But
standards.
Monique is
By
not dark skinned. Even she's not dark skinned though.
she's light skinned.
So, what?
I like it.
I wouldn't say she's light skinned, but I don't think she's dark skinned.
I think she's light skinned. Maybe it's just me. I think
Right, she's a brown skinned girl. She's not
So
dark.
really, who is considered dark skin in the actress? Who would you consider dark skin?
Nyong'o,
Gabri, right? Lupita Nyong'o, Gabri Sidibe, they're dark skinned.
Viola Davis.
Viola, I would.
Based on the lighting, what?
Okay, that's interesting.
But I mean, again, I don't know. I don't know. In Hollywood, you're either light or dark. Okay, okay.
Oh, not in Hollywood.
All right.
Well, anywho, thank you for letting me come up. That's all I really wanted to say.
No problem. But listen, Star stuck by her. She said, "This how I feel, and that's how I feel, girl."
Yeah, because I be seeing as windmill for like so many other people, and I do deeply feel that it's rooted in a lot of other things unconsciously. Because I guarantee it's gonna be about 2 weeks, a month from now, it's gonna be a similar situation come up, and people gonna be saying something totally different. And you know what it's gonna be based off of? The looks, the weight, if they got a man, if they don't got a man. I don't know. But thank you.
I think Nicki Minaj is beautiful, and I still think she got stank attitude. So.
Oh yeah, she does. But to me, her and Megan are two of the same. One just younger, one just older. We just seeing the younger version act out, and the older one, this is who she is. But I digress.
Okay, girl. All right. El Teddy, I don't know. Was Xavier next to you, boo? I don't know.
I think it was Xavier.
Okay, Xavier, El Teddy, and then Mo. That's gonna be
Oh,
how
I
we
don't
go.
got
Okay.
nothing. I was just about to drop down. Good night, Team Monique, Team Everybody Black.
All right, thank you, baby. Thank you for
Good
coming
night.
up. All right, Xavier, and then El Teddy.
So I have just two rebuttals. El Teddy, the reason why Monique has to estimate about how much the park is made is because television executives are deliberately hiding how much these TV shows are making in streaming and in syndication nowadays. That's one of the points that are going to be brought in the next renegotiation of.
That was about 20, 25 years ago. Ain't nowadays.
But I think that she's talking about nowadays, because I don't see how she can make $1 billion on the part, because back then that doesn't add up well. So, but I'm just saying currently now, I think that that's what she's talking about, because she and Candace Vaughn did say that they were planning on suing Paramount for distributing the Parkers and hiding their cut of the money. So they do have an active lawsuit against Paramount Studios right now, I believe. So I think that's what she was trying to reference. I don't believe she was talking about back then. And what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah. I was going to mention about the movie. The movie that she is starring in, that is directed by Lee Daniels, it's called The Deliverance. I think it's based on some sort of true story. It's a horror film, though, but it's kind of based on a true story. It's going to be distributed by Netflix. And I think that she should be focused on promoting that more in this year. And hopefully she promotes it more on her comedy tour.
I didn't even hear her mention that when she was on. I mean, the whole 3 hours that she was on Club Shay Shay, I never heard her mention it. And I'm not even being funny. Like, she could have mentioned it.
It wasn't in her contract to promote it.
Well, she better get out of that, because Netflix don't promote nothing. And then that'd be the end of that. Netflix will give you one little trailer.
Go ahead, El Teddy. Ooh, Lord, y'all done had me here late, honey. It's 3 hours, baby.
So that wasn't in her contract to promote that movie, honey. Okay. So I don't know how we got to slavery. Really, but you're gonna have to help me out. You know, the educated in me don't know where slavery came from. Maybe I don't know. But girl, but let's just say this. All of this, and Star, if you don't mind putting in the chat, I would like to know what generation you fall. Generation Z, millennials, late millennials, early millennials, because I just want to get a context for age, because sometimes that does guide your thoughts or the way you look at things. Because let's be clear, when at my age, all of these, I had this stuff happen to me. Do you know how many actors and actresses in Hollywood can probably tell a similar story about horrific things that happen to them? Some of us in our everyday lives have horrific things that happen to us. And guess what the hell we got to do every day? Go out behind the work and leave all of that to the side, because we have a job to do. Because I can't go to my job and act ass or act crazy to everybody and then tell my boss, well, you know, I had childhood horrific trauma that happened to me, and that's just why I act out. Because you know what they're going to say? Well, baby, say that to somebody else, because this ain't the place for you. You won't be here no longer. I'm sorry. You have a job to do. The other part about it is, Monique's problem is she need to go sit on somebody's couch. She need to go sit on somebody's couch. And
she's a therapist.
I think she's using that husband as the catch-all. He gets to be manager, therapist, pastor, lover. And baby, you need to start to differentiate, because somewhere all of your needs are not getting met, sweetheart. The other part that I want to know is, and I think you and I talked about this, really being, was it a good idea to hire your husband to be your manager, and he has no history of managing an artist of your stature or the way you perceive yourself, the height or the level of artist that you perceive yourself? I mean, was that the right person to do that? Because there is certain things that go along. Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Because there is a certain, in any business, there's a way, there's the lingo, there's the language, there's the nomenclature, there's the know-how, there's the understanding how to operate within that particular, field. And you went and hired your boo who laid it down real good in the bed one good day and got you calling him daddy and groomed you. Because let's be clear, this wasn't raising, this was grooming, if you ask me. And now all of a sudden he's your manager. Baby, you need to go see a therapist, and you need to hire a real manager. And then you need to go take some anger management or do something to deal with. And I think the therapist may help with that, because you got to clear up your name, sweetheart. If I don't know you, Monique, and I see your antics on Shannon's show, on every time you get a mic in front of you, you always putting down people that helped you or people who were in a position to help you or people who were your boss. Baby, I don't want to work with you. Even if your story is true, I don't want to work with you because all I know of you is talking bad about people who essentially was your boss or people who you were subordinate to. Baby, I don't want to work with you. I don't want nothing to do with you. Because the one thing D.L. Hughley did say that I agree with is everybody who it seemed, I won't say everybody, it seemed but it seemed like a whole lot of the people who helped you out, lent a helping hand, tried to do right by you, you got a whole lot of bad stuff to say about them. And that's just the way it is. I'm off. Love you, sis.
Thank you, boo. The sad thing is we've seen that so many times where women, especially women in a position of power who make more money, who have, especially in the entertainment where they get those accolades, they feel like they have to overcompensate, and so they put their husbands in these positions to give them some power, to make them feel validated, to make them feel like they're not just the sidekick, and they're usually ill-equipped for those positions. And we've seen it, unfortunately. I mean, on the black and white side of things, we have seen that time after time after time. And I mean, there are horror stories connected to these women who allow these men to ruin their careers. So listen, in conclusion, because I've been here for 3 hours, and I appreciate everybody who's been rocking with me. I appreciate the people disagreeing. I see you in the chat, Uncle Jay. And I appreciate your opinions. I appreciate everything you're saying. I just wanted to go beyond Oprah and Tyler, and I wanted us to talk about some other things that are out there that are on the internet that you could just Google around and find, because that's all I did, that are connected to some things. Now, some might say that, there's a famous saying, well-behaved women never made history. So it could be something like that. You could feel that way about Monique and say, listen, I believe that was a quote from, I think that was Eleanor Roosevelt, but don't quote me on that quote. But well-behaved women never made history, which is actually one of my favorite quotes. And that is true. That's a valid statement. And so maybe you put Monique in that category that says, hey, she's not playing the Hollywood game and she's being punished because of it. And then there are other people who say, but listen, you do have to play the game to a certain extent. And you can't get mad when the repercussions come for you not playing the game. Again, it's all about your perspective. It's all about how you feel about it. I clearly have my opinion, but I definitely hear what other people have to say. And I appreciate you guys. And I'm getting ready to get off of here and I'm getting ready to go to bed. I was going to do my power review, but I'm tired. So I'll probably do that in the morning when I got to run an errand in the morning. I'll probably do my power review when I get back. But baby, if you don't watch Power, baby, that season finale was everything. Everything. But with that note, I'm getting out of here and I will talk to y'all later. Mwah! Peace.